know I'm going up, right? I'm not playing none of these games. I know a lot of people like to play games and shit, but we going all the way up, man. I'm telling y'all, when I open this shit up, right? When I tell y'all, you know what I'm about to do? Y'all know what it is, right? Don't play with the wall floor. Don't play with the people that's gonna be coming in on the wall floor, cause I'm about to turn this shit all the way up, and I want more people to join this shit. Like I want a lot of people to join, and I want to get familiar with a lot of different individuals, right? Cause you never know who's gonna come by. You never know what's gonna come by, and I definitely love networking with individuals too. If I can network with you and get you to the next level, that's the shit that I like. Like networking. What we doing, senora? Wee! Sister. Listen, we gonna go up
Thank
today.
goodness.
How you feeling?
I feel good. These rooms have been getting on my nerve.
I know they're like pretty trash, senor. I've been going to these different rooms, and I'm like, yo, when are we actually gonna have some shit that's gonna actually be fire and pop off? But I want to know. I want to know today: do men and women take dating advice from toxic friends? I feel like too many people are just taking advice from people that don't. It doesn't make sense for them. Like, why are you taking this advice from somebody that you know could be toxic, right? Or just bad information, right, sister? I've seen a lot of people just take bad information, and then you wonder why you don't get to the next level, or you wonder why you are single. It's because you've been taking this bad ass information, and it's nothing like having people around you that don't know that they're giving you toxic ass bad information. That's the worst part. Demi, get up here, please. Grin Jenny, get up here. Biggs, get up here. Fucking gender wars is open.
Yeah,
What? What?
I
Fucking
just have a
pack.
quick
Hey,
question.
hey, Dana, you can't talk unless you gotta cash the ticket in. I've been seeing you come rock with this room, but you ain't cashed the ticket in yet. What is going on? Come rock with Stack the right way. You feel me? Follow me, follow the house. Come rock with me first before we talk on here. All right, Dana, over to you. Nacho, what we doing, mama? What's up? I want to talk about this shit today. Do women and men take dating advice from toxic friends? I feel like you guys listen to toxic people and then wonder why y'all have toxic information or toxic results. Stop fucking listening to your toxic friends and start listening to your information. Go out there and do some due diligence. Go out there and actually do some trial and error. You never know, right? But Senora, Dana, Nacho, Demi, I'm gonna leave it up to y'all. I just gotta make a quick phone call. But ping this room up and share this room up. Do women and men take dating advice from toxic ass dumb friends that don't even know the first thing about marriage or relationship or even being with a person? Over to you guys. Let's continue.
I think men and women like to get validated by their toxic friends. They wanted to do it already. Fashawn's here. Let me bring up Fashawn. Fashawn is gonna steerhead this room. Stack has a call to make. Nacho, what's up? Good morning, Demi. Dina, I love
Good
you.
morning.
Hey,
Um,
good morning.
Sister, run this room like it's IRL. Do whatever you want, please.
I'm pinging up right now. I just shared to my Facebook
um,
page.
so guys, welcome to Gender Wars. All right. Do men and women take dating advice from toxic friends? Please ping up and share the room. This is brought to you by Stack and Gender Wars. And if you're lucky, you're going to be on the podcast that he started. He has a wonderful podcast that is being done on Apple. So we want to hear all your voices so people all over the world can fall in love with your voices as well. So we need you guys to contribute. We need you guys to participate in the conversation. And let's try to make it as gender warry as possible. Go ahead. Floor is open.
Let me answer this question. Good morning, Fashawn. Do men and women take dating advice from toxic friends? Um, I would have to say no. I think people know better. I think people know who their toxic friends are. So I would have to say no. Do you take toxic advice? Do you take dating advice from your toxic friends, Senora?
I have. You want me to be completely honest? I have. Yeah,
Yeah.
I have. I surrounded myself with the wrong group of women and I took stupid advice. But I was in a very bad place in my life at some point.
Yeah, I would have to say I definitely don't and have not, which is probably why I'm always married and most of my friends aren't. What about you, Fashawn? Do you take dating advice from your toxic friends? I know you don't. What about you, Sally? Sally, do you take dating advice from toxic friends?
Hey, what's up, y'all? Call me Sally Mary, please. But yeah, so here I was thinking about a response to this, right? Like Nacho, when you were like, yeah, you've been married, you've and you're not single. Sometimes being single isn't exactly a bad thing because sometimes maybe you're the kind of person who has taken years of toxic advice that you didn't know was a toxic advice until you had to learned because through just experiencing it that you were receiving toxic advice and toxic advice, you don't know what toxic advice is until you see that you're hurting yourself and others. And I've gone through it, I've experienced it, and I've witnessed hearing people give toxic advice. And right now my biggest dating advisor are two people. My the granny, I don't know if you guys seen that, like the granny, the dating granny or something like that, on whether she's a fictional character or not, man. The stuff she says, it's like over it's such a moonshot with such a great thought. And then my therapist. There you go.
Yeah, when you were
Hello
talking,
everyone.
hmm? What'd you say, Alex?
Hey everyone.
Hello.
Oh, did I do that? Oh, so when you said that I was probably taking dating advice and didn't know it, I was thinking, like, who was I? And that would have been my mom. My mom gave me, she was the only one I really took advice from with regard to dating. Um, what's up, Rob? Militant. What's up, Militant? How are you this morning?
Hey, good morning. Good morning, Nitro.
Good morning. Yeah, so I was just saying that I the title is Do Men and Women Take Dating Advice from Toxic Friends? And I was saying I don't. I never really have. Um, because that's why I stay married. And Senora said she has. And then Sally Mary said, um, she said, well, Nacho, you probably have and just didn't know it. And as she said that, I was thinking, like, yeah, you're right. But it was my mom. My mom was the one giving me toxic advice. And also the songs. Do you remember that song? You could do bad by yourself? Like, that's so toxic. What's up, Joe?
Nacho, I agree with you. Like I can do bad all by myself. Why would I want to be with you if you gonna make me do bad? You understand? I'd rather be by myself if you going to make me look bad. Stay away from me if you're gonna make me look bad. How about that?
But
But
what if
that's,
other people are making you look bad?
What,
uh-oh.
Joe? What
Like,
the hell you just say to me? What you just say? Huh? What you just say to me?
okay, militant. Okay. Okay, I'm saying, what if you have a friend who you think is a friend, but they're toxic enough to sabotage any advice they give you so that you look
So
bad?
that's not really your friend. Does anybody else want to touch on that? If you
But
got
you
friend,
wouldn't even know that. But what
yeah.
if you didn't know that?
All right, Joe. I don't think it's your friend. I'm not surrounding myself with anybody
No, no, but people are
that
nice.
wants to
You
give
know
me
those
this
people?
bullshit.
Come on, you know those people that you go out, you hang out at the club, or you go hang out at your regular hangout, and they're nice people, and they're, good looking folk, they're smart folk, but they're also smart folk that actually want to, play the game with you because they want to know what your business is and they want your bag.
That's interesting. So you're saying that there are people who are intentionally giving you bad advice because they envy
Oh, I
you?
know there is. I know there is. I've so many women that don't like me because I have a lot of guy friends. I'm not having any relations with these guy friends, but they're good looking guys. And they want in on these good looking guys, but they don't want in on these girls because they don't like them because they think they're chicken heads. So they're just talking to me. They're talking to me because I'm an intelligent, intellectual person. I'm not into them in that way. I just, I'm their friend, that's it. But these girls all think I'm hitting all them. Like, I'm all having sex with any of them. I'm not, but they all want them because, like I have friends that
What?
are like, really, really good looking, but I'm not into them in that way. They're just my really good friends. But girls will give advice. So if I say, I ask my friend, what do you think of this guy? Because we've been talking for a while and he's a good friend of mine. And they know I talk to lot of these guys. They totally downplay oh yeah, no, you know what? He's probably playing the field and he's probably he's probably just nice to you because he pities you. And I'm not an ugly girl, but they're saying this to me and I'm thinking I'm an ugly girl because they're supposed to be my friends, right? But in the end, I notice now it's like, oh no, they're really actually just jealous of the, accommodations these amazing men have given me. And I think that's a real thing. And I'm pretty sure I have a lot of black women friends that happens to a lot. And they're good looking, intelligent women, but there's men that want that. Like there's women that hate that they're intelligent, good looking black women. And there's Asian women I know that in the same boat. That's how I see things because now it's like, you're playing a game, like everybody's player in the game. Even men do the same thing. You got a buddy and they got a good looking girl in their arm. They're going to question, hey, what's that girl? Who's that girl? Why is he doing with my buddy? Oh, he's a dumbass. I don't think he should be with him, and they try to play the field with the girl. It always happens. It's in
So
all
why
these
do why do
movies.
why do people downplay on other people though? What kind of shit is that? That's
Oh
not
my
really your
goodness.
friend though. Let's talk. Let's wake it up. That's not your friend if they gotta downplay you. You understand?
But if you don't know what your friends' motives are in the friendship you have, you really don't know the game. That's the problem. So if your friend's a real friend, like I'm going to say all these wonderful, like one of my favorite movies is like, my best friend's wedding, or not my best friend's wedding, was it The Best Man? In that movie, it just shows every dynamic of reality that people are like the guy had sex with the friend in high school and and then they're like, oh my god, we're not going to tell him that they had sex in high school, and then they're going to get married, and then the guy's like this, he thinks he's all awesome, but he's a player too, and he's dogging some other girl while he's with his angelic wife who he thinks is an angel, but in reality she's no more different from him. And that's how the real, to me, that's how the real world works, is that's what people are like in reality. They will play what they can because everybody wants to be at the top. I don't know what anybody else thinks, but that's my opinion, because I've had many girls that have taken men that are my friends, and they stop me from talking to them because they're threatened by me, even though we have no sexual relations, we have no interest in each other, we're just friends.
Interesting. Okay. So it
What do
definitely
you think,
sounds like
Nacho? Do you not agree with me? Do you not have any women that you think that are pretty good looking that they're trying to compete with you? Like, I'm pretty sure you're a good looking lady.
yeah, no, I don't hang around girls like that.
No,
Honestly.
but you wouldn't. What if you didn't know? What if your friend's so kind? She wouldn't say that to you. Like, no person in their right mind intelligently would say, oh, why is she dating him? Not because you're a bad person, but because they themselves want to up their game to get people that you're around, because everybody wants network of people that they want to be around, right? And then, if there's a chance to, get with people that they try their best to know those people, because it's all networking, right? Everything in life is about who you know, what you know, who gets you in the door at the club, who gets you in the job. Everybody has to have some form of an appearance. Like, that's why celebrities are celebrities. They're not totally all real up front. They're real behind closed doors, but not up front when you see them in public. That's when you know the real person is behind doors, right? So that's my opinion. Anybody else challenge it, it's totally,
Well, I mean,
you know.
that's an interesting, like you said, that's an interesting perspective. So, kind of like social climbing girls. You're
Oh
saying
yeah,
hanging around
totally.
social climbing girls who
Well,
are
look,
kind of
I'm going
like,
to say this.
mhm.
Good example is Whitney Houston is a very amazing, talented girl, but then guess who got around her? People that were jealous, got her all on hooked on cocaine, on drugs, and she's down in the dumps, and she had a great relationship, but not so great relationship, and then who did she end up with? Ray J or whatever, and then
Bobby
like she
Brown
died.
girl.
No, the guy after that got her hooked on drugs. Who ended up with what's her name's daughter. They manipulated her for her fame. They didn't really cherish her as a person. And I'm pretty sure, even though she had good family, she probably said, no, no, no. Everybody would say to her, don't go out with that guy or don't do this. It's not good in your best interest. And she'd say, no, mama, I'm good. She's a good person. And then, like, cause
All
she's a
right, all
very
right,
God
all right,
loving
all right,
person.
all right. I think we got
But would
it.
you, okay.
Fuck,
Hey,
Hold on.
Stack,
fuck, fuck,
sorry.
Would you,
fuck, fuck. I
hang
think
on,
we
Joe,
got it.
would you consider that toxic?
Damn.
Because that sounds like good advice, right? And so when you're saying that, I could think of a couple of my girls who gave me good dating advice that I didn't follow, or they told me who not to marry, and I married them anyway, right? And then I can also think about my husband right now. Some people are like, well, why would you pick him, right? So,
But every
so I
girl
hear
says
you, but
that.
it
Why
sounds
would you
like,
pick him, right?
yeah, but it sounds like two things. But see, but when I hear toxic,
Yeah.
right? Toxic dating advice would be, I guess, when I was real young, the girls, they all had already given up their virginity, right? And that
Right,
was
right.
toxic.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, you need
That's
to be giving
toxic.
that
Yeah.
up. Right. They're like, why do you
Yeah.
still have that? That's toxic. But someone telling you, hey, stay away from that guy because he's a bad guy and then he turns out to be a bad guy, that's not toxic, right? That's probably
Yeah.
some, you're probably the
I think
toxic one.
no,
So
no, I mean, I'm not saying
do me a
I'm not saying
favor.
anything about me not being
Hang on,
toxic.
Joe.
Hey, I'm gonna say this. I'm not saying I've never been toxic. I'm
Hold
gonna
on,
say that.
Joe. Hold on. You got to let me do this real quick. Because I see you got a little party hat, and I think it's really cute. I like your party hat. Let me just do this real quick because we got some other people on the stage. I see the lovely Dana came up. Um, I see Demi up there looking gorgeous. What do you ladies think? Do you ladies think that it's okay to take dating advice from toxic friends, or do you think that that's a thing? How about you, Rob? I know you're not out here taking dating advice from toxic.
Or friends that don't even know better. Like y'all be taking advice from people that don't even know better. Like they ain't even been in no shit. They just talking just to talk. Like I don't know. I never understood that. Like y'all listen to people that never been in real life situations, and that's where the shit's fucked up at. Is you listening to people that never been in a real life situation. I can never listen to you if you never been through the fire or been through some shit. I say you got to walk through the fire to become fire, and if you haven't been through that shit, I don't want to listen to you. I don't give a fuck who you are.
What are you gonna say, Rob? I saw you come off the mic.
Yeah, you got people on this app that want to be influencers on this app that are definitely toxic, that want to lead people in ways that then you got some people that take advice from these said people. But it's this title is absolutely no surprise. We see it every day on this app. No, I do. Rhetoric and narratives that are counterproductive to the livelihood of a lot of people that say they want something different, but yet they take advice from people who speak in those ways. You want one thing and he or she's speaking in another way. Okay, that might be a good idea. Makes no sense to me, but yeah, I'm not surprised. That's what Clubhouse has become.
So, Rob, what's some of the worst information you heard people take on here, bro? Because I know you've been on here with me for a while, but what's some of the worst information you've heard, bro? I would love to hear. I would love to hear it. Let's go.
All right, number one is this whole poly conversation. To me, is really
Oh
counterproductive.
man, for Sean, you hear that shit? You hear that? Why you trying? You can't come at Poly Boys. What you doing, Rob? What's wrong with that?
I'm just telling that that's my opinion. It's kind of if a woman wants a man, one man, and she's being led by the nose by a man who doesn't want that. that's counterproductive to what she wants. Absolutely, absolutely,
So
absolutely.
that's the number one right there, Rob. That's the one. That's the craziest one. One of
That
the
ain't the
craziest.
craziest one. That's just one. With some of these other things I hear, I've heard, people, when you bring money into conversations on a voice app with meta people, to me that's counterproductive. Why in the hell would I be even thinking about putting money into a situation with somebody I don't even know? You don't even know this person, and then they're talking about stuff that's counterproductive to what you want in your life, and then you're being led by the nose monetarily by this said person. That is, to me, that's probably the top two, top three. And too many people on this app have been led by the nose. That they've been into one other one. This is another one. This is really interesting. A man decides he wants to throw a few dollars around on an app, and women that just follow, even though this man talks crazy to them, talks absolutely insane to them, calls them all kinds of B's and H's, and they, and yet these, because this dude throws a few dollars in a room, throwing people out of the room or doing whatever, these women are saying he's a great guy. Then they find out that he's not a great guy, and then they all disperse like the roaches when the light comes on. Just can't make this shit up. There's a ton of others that I've seen. These are just three that I just want to mention right now.
Well, he said dispersing like roaches with the lights on. All right, let's shout out to you, Stack, for building this house, Gender Wars. Do men and women take dating advice from toxic friends? We got the lovely Senora in her reign, the beautiful Demi, Fashawn holding it down, Sally Mary. And let's do this, y'all, if y'all don't mind, because some of y'all might know that, most of the time I'm at PhD's place. Um, but we do like a style over there. It's like a popcorn style where there's still order because we're not talking over each other, but it's like we're doing like natural conversation. You know what I'm saying? Can we try some natural conversation instead of like, waiting to be called on? How about, can we do that? Because to me that's fun. I like natural conversation. So I see AM. What's up, Sally? Here we go. What's up,
Yeah, that
AM?
that
Jump
seems
in.
easy enough, but like you said, it's hard to like find your spot because every time I unmic somebody's talking, so it's cool. I like that popcorn style. At the same time, have it be fluid. Now, Dana put something in the chat that was really interesting because it was beginning. I started to talk about it, which is awareness. When you don't know you're taking bad toxic advice from someone, you're going to continue to actively participate in it, kind of like when you're voting against your self-interest because you thought that person was really good and they did a really good job marketing themselves, pepping themselves up, and you not knowing any better. Now when I say you, I'm not saying a specific you, I'm saying in general you, and you don't know any better, and you're not aware, and you're just going with what the crowd is saying or what this person is saying because you know them. And sometimes all we need to know is know someone to trust them. And perhaps maybe some of you guys are not that easily trusting, but the rest of the world, believe it or not, easily trust. And I remember being married to my ex-husband. We were together for 10 years, and it wasn't a very good relationship. And now, I wasn't given a toxic advice to marry this man, but I will tell you, I was encouraged to stay with this man because people could not believe what was happening in our marriage. Like, for example, um, he was abusive. Not only was he physically abusive, he was cheating on me the whole time. And I didn't know what's that word that people use a lot these days, but don't really know what it means. Gaslighting. People people would he would gaslight me. He would want me to apologize for having a reaction to his action because I made him feel a different kind of way. Like I had to really understand that, to understand, to get it. And then friends who could not believe that he was abusive and that he was cheating because they knew me prior to being married to him. They knew me as this strong, independent individual who don't take shit from nobody, and that if someone lays a hand on them, man, they'll be either I go to jail or they'll end up in a hospital, but that person changed, right? I'm not that person anymore. And I grew some finesse. I understand that. Oh, here's another one here. I don't know if this is a toxic advice, but I remember my friends would tell me that, girl, you're too tomboy, no man would want you, being too, you're too strong, you're too tomboy, you need to like tap into your femininity so that you'll attract men that want to be with you. Yeah, there were some parts to that that I could have probably softened up, but I didn't know. My mom never taught me how to be a feminine lady. I grew up with three younger brothers and I raised them, and all I knew was how to be around boys. And I thought that, you played rough, you punched each other once you were pissed and you were done with it. That was normal to me. And then when I got in this relationship and people were saying, well, no, you're not doing that. That's not what's happening. He's a good looking man. He's an all star soccer player. He's making a lot of money. Like, you should stay with him. But they didn't realize that there were all these other things happening. But I let people who don't know what's going on in the relationship encourage me to stay in a bad relationship. So it wasn't until um, I showed up to work with bruises on my face, with cuts on my face, and somebody at work outside who didn't know me said something to me. Hey, that's not normal, and that. So I'll leave with that, with how sometimes you just don't know, and it takes the experience and someone outside looking in to finally go, hey, that was bad advice. That you were in a bad relationship. So I land my mic from here.
Yeah. Um, so one other thing. This is probably maybe number one for me. So women will come into a room and say, "I'm looking for a man to do something serious." Some even have children already. They've had bad relationships. They've got maybe a kid or two, or a man who's absent from the child's life. And then they're looking for a serious relationship, right? Then you got men that were like, oh, yeah, well, before I get into a relationship with you, I got to see what the sex looks like. So, in order for him to be in a relationship, he's got to find out whether your sex is good, which means that she has to give one of the most important parts of her, which is her body, to a man that she doesn't really know. You can't make this shit up. And then you have women that will fall for this every single time, which then leads her to have another child with a man that she doesn't know, who's absent from that child's life. To me, that's probably number one. That is number one. Because there's a man who would, I was raised in foster care. I never knew who my father was. I'm speaking from experience. I mean, no child should be without his father in his life if they can help it. In that scenario where you've got rhetoric like that being spewed on this app quite often, I get pushback from women and men when I say this. But Nacho, I don't give a damn.
And I know you don't give a damn. I know that. What's up, P? We got Robert, Amanda, what do you say? Delanoir? I don't speak French, but I'll try. AM 001. What's up, AM? What are you thinking about this title? Do men and women take dating advice from toxic friends?
Who has toxic friends? I mean, the world is
Oh,
complicated enough. You know what I mean?
what's with that?
Uh, my family is Afro Latina on both sides, and four different countries, and I had to wrap my head around not getting spanked in any of those cultures first, and I realized that the kids outside playing were doing stupidness, and that's what was like for me on my father's side growing up firstborn in America and all the pressures of that. So, and then real talk, my last profession, when I went away for training, my daughter was being molested by her father. And so um, there were no friends that were dicey because when we got on the phone with each other, way before that happened, it was always they had stuff going on in their life that was real, real.
And even like my mother, all of them, whenever people call, my mother's a nurse in the family. So people call on the phone with their medical reports and they wanted an interpreter, they call my mother. So I don't know what it is to let people toy with my life or my attention or my time like that. Because even to this day, like the stuff that's happening in my family and my circle is like, I know you'd know, is what I get when my phone rings. And if I don't know how to help them, I'm going to go find somebody. So anything less than that, it's I don't know that life.
Listen, AM, I appreciate that. If you guys are just now joining, we're talking about, do men and women take dating advice from toxic ass friends? The ones that never been through shit, the ones that just talking in your ear and ain't never really been in no serious shit. I'm talking about the ones that give you bad advice. You listen to them a couple times and the shit goes left. Ping the room out, share the room out if you know anyone that wants to speak about this. I got Senora on the stage, Demi, Sally, for Sean, Nacho. I want to continue this. Robert, thank you for coming through. PhD, I appreciate it as well. Dana, Rob, Joe, what's going on? Can we continue this conversation? What's going on?
So
What's
you
going
know what I what I am realizing, and especially being on Clubhouse, a lot of people truly believe they're not toxic.
That's deep. That's deep, Senora, because I see that too. It's like the delusion. What's up with the delusion?
Like a lot of people swear they're healthy, and you're not. See, I'm chaotic. I embrace it.
At least you admit it, though, Senora. That's why I rock with you.
Yeah, being chaotic. Peace to the room. Thank you for your gracious acknowledgement, Stack. Appreciate that. What up, Senora? I think for Sean, what up? I think I think like so when you say I'm chaotic, that's you being that's you embracing your humanness, right? Your humane, like who you are. I don't think that is toxic. I think toxic is when people have agendas and they push these agendas. When people are scarred and they use these scars to alienate others to be, part of their miserable world. Yeah, so yeah, what you mentioned is transparent. You know, if we can't laugh at ourselves, if we can't criticize ourselves, if we can't do that to ourselves, we certainly shouldn't be giving other people advice. Um, and I put in the
Talk about practice what you preach, Rob. Let's
yeah,
get into it, brother.
yeah. Toxicity, misery loves company. I learned that, we've heard the phrase, I mean, way before Clubhouse, right? Misery loves company. And we got to choose not to be a guest. I mean, don't be a guest. Don't come to nobody's living room. Stay away from them. And so, yeah, I think
But we all have to love our enemies.
well, yeah, but I'm not going to keep my
And some people look like your friends, but they can be
hold
your enemies. So
on,
that's like a God preaching
sis,
statement.
sis,
Like,
hold on.
Hola.
It's not the lady was on
Yeah,
the
you interrupted my thought process. You fucking up my flow, respectfully. But the point that I'm making, I think we should value the opinions and from those who have a vested interest in our well-being. I'm gonna say it one more time. We should value counsel from those who have a vested interest in our well-being. So they've shown up in our lives, they've been around us, they know us, and so when they talk to us about the possibility of us being in an unhealthy situation, we got to value that, because sometimes we don't know. Sometimes I don't know just how toxic this chick is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm Google Gaga sometimes. It happens. Charge it to the game. But we're lucky.
I feel like we all been there before, Rob. Though you feel me, bro? Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. So yeah. So that's my submission for now. Like, I'm not perfect. I ain't got it all figured out. But once I identify toxicity, I get the hell away from it.
I love what you just said. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. 001.
honestly, I think it's also toxic if you always agree with your friend. But that's a form of toxic. Um, sometimes a good friend will tell you what you need to hear, even if you don't like hearing it. But a friend that tells you what you want to hear, that's a form of toxic behavior.
I agree with that. You don't need a whole bunch of yes men around you. That's how you get led off of a cliff. You need somebody like people around you. No, you out here fucking up. No, you don't go that way. This is not gonna end well for you. So I think that like when you bring up that people the people that you surround yourself with should have the ability to tell you, if you out here slipping.
See, I like what you just said, Breezy. Thanks for,
Yeah.
for that. I don't know if you guys could hear me, but um so like how we're defining it, right? Because we were talking about, I was mentioning awareness earlier. Like, you gotta know. I think defining what toxic behavior, toxic actions, toxic advice is, like knowing what. And I love Senora, how she says she's chaotic. That's her form of toxicity. And so coming off of, like, if you guys have received toxic advice, for me, I think it would be helpful to say what, in your experience, especially if you've received toxic dating advice, to share what that is. And just for me, I think that it helps to define it a little further, like how Rob just did.
I put it in the chat, but I'm going to keep it very simple because this has been 5 years of Clubhouse. If you've ever said these niggas ain't shit, or these black bitches ain't shit, or these niggers are poor, or these niggas need to be bullet bags, I'm sorry, you're toxic.
I think that Senora, hurt people. And maybe, to a certain extent, certain people are not having their way. Because why would you feel that way about somebody?
Yeah, but Breezy,
It makes no sense.
you've been on here as long as I have. My stance is that these people do not know that they're toxic. For some reason, everybody on Clubhouse is healed. They're all healed, okay? They just have their opinions. I'm telling you, well, you know this, but what I'm saying is in the past 5 years when the gender wars, shout out to Stacks, was really bad, or when, for example, Kevin Samuels died, if you can't recognize that a man died and you're saying, I'm glad he died, you're toxic.
So this is what I will say. And this is my standpoint on it. Because I don't have any of these issues. But literally,
You're a married woman.
I think it's a bad case of too many bad days, and people are hurt, and then they project it onto others, and they think that that is like the truth or something. They think that all people are this way, and all, like, it's insane. But yeah, you can't feel that way about other people. You don't even know them. We're online. Are you crazy? But maybe they got their feelings hurt.
What if a person's feelings weren't hurt, but they experienced something real and they had to react to something that was advice that could have been life threatening or life altering, and they had to make a quick decision that they'd never made before, that a person gave the wrong advice for and endangered other person's life? I mean, for a relationship, sometimes life and death situations occur. And I know that because I know that my friends experienced it and it was not a good situation. And I've experienced it and many other people's. And it's not really about healed or unhealed. People are always constantly trying to heal.
Yeah, I think when you going through something, don't call your unhealed friend. This whole healing process take as much time as you need so that you are able to come back in your best form of self. But I was just referencing people projecting onto other people because of what they going through.
I understand that part. But I guess, like, with the toxic, whoever, I'm trying to remember who it was, if it was Stacker or Nacho was talking about toxicity. I think some people don't know, like she said before, and some people don't know they're toxic because they've been around the same people that are worse, like toxicity wise, and they think it's a normal behavior. When they're not around it, they start realizing, Holy, that's toxic because they've been
Once you
around
get
others.
around
That's
somebody that's
real.
healed, that's not on that toxic shit, you'll realize, like, damn,
Yeah.
this ain't
Yeah.
normal. You understand? Hold on, let me,
Yep.
Joe, let me come to Demi because Demi's been trying to get in. Demi, over to you,
Sure.
and then let's keep it
No,
open.
no, I was just agreeing to her. I feel like a lot of people really enable each other's behaviors, and it's like a lot of I forgot who said this, but a lot of people like give advice by projecting their situation. So it's like two hurt people can't really take advice from each other, right? And if they haven't done the inner work to get to the point where they're healed and be assertive and be firm. And again, I believe somebody mentioned it, like you don't need a lot of yes men around you because that's just gonna, make the whole situation even worse. So you're not really getting an honest opinion. You're just having a hype man at this point. So you're really not getting nowhere, and your situation is gonna keep getting worse. So
I feel like that's the worst, Demi, is having people in your corner that hype you up. And that's why I
yeah,
love rocking with Senora, Kat, and Diego, because those sisters gonna hold each other accountable. You feel me? Like if you ever seen the dynamic with them, they'll always hold each other accountable. You want people in your corner that hold each other accountable. If it's friends, family, relationships, it don't matter who it is. Hold your people accountable. Do not let them just be, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Just, yeah, yeah. You know what I mean?
like
Boo,
have a backbone.
boo.
Be able to speak
Rico,
up,
what
and
you
I feel
saying boo
like
for? You want to come in here
Boo. Boy,
and
you
what you
always
got
come
to
in with
say,
this
Rico? Huh?
nonsense. I'm finna get back to work. You always come in with this nonsense. Be trying to clean it up. Be trying to no, man. I'm sick of these women, man. Y'all need to leave these other women alone. All y'all toxic. Your love is y'all all toxic. All y'all do is like get in these other women business. Y'all be trying to like live. I can let these women that's happy be happy in their relationship. Stop trying to offer them type of insight. Your love is toxic. That's what all y'all. I'm sick of you two stacks. You be trying to smooth things over. No, ain't no more smoothing it over, bro. I'm sick of they be trying to holler at your lady, talking, oh girl, he trying to keep you inside the house. Let go to brunch. Ain't no more brunches. Ain't none of that shit going on around here, man. Leave my lady be, bro. Let my lady be relaxing and doing all. Y'all be trying to get her all. He had you in here all day, and you need to get out more because you want her to be part of y'all crew. Y'all use that shit happened in high school and college. That's over with, man. There's a lady that's inside the house now, man. Yo, man, Stack, you pissing me off too, bro. I'm out of here, man.
Yeah, man, forget you, Rico, man. Get your ass out of here, Rico. I love when Rico come up, man. Make sure y'all follow Rico. If you guys are just joining, do men and women take dating advice from toxic friends? I want to hear from everybody. Thank you, AK, from coming up. Amanda, Rico, everybody. Breezy, Delvin, Seven. Let's keep going. Ping the room up and share the room up. And Ray just showed up too, because I want to know
Yeah,
what Ray got to
Mr.
think.
Sachs, I got a question.
Yes, sir.
I
Go
don't
ahead,
think
brother.
that we've seen healthy relationships. I don't think we've seen that for generations now. Like before the '80s came, I'm an '80s baby. We 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 didn't see no healthy relationship. I would say like maybe in the '60s or the '70s there were probably healthy relationships, but ever since then I have not never ran into a healthy relationship. Men and women married, in a whole household, not broken up household, not a household that's been taking out one gender out of the household to do the most majority of the work and bring back the bread. No, I haven't seen that as a '80s baby growing up, and now my babysitters and the people that raised me and the elders, like I seen the love, I seen the genuine healthy relationship. Now I seen that part. Now growing up, I see a lot of toxicity and everything, even in the relationships that I've been through, because it was different. It was just totally different. We had a different view. We didn't see that. If we saw that, maybe we would be more healthy relationships across the globe. Thank you.
I think you're right. If you've seen that when you first grown up, then you'll be like, all right, this is what is, shown and stilled. AK, are you here with me too? I want to hear what you got to say. Like, I feel like if you grown up in it, you've been in it, you've your parents was the, then you go reflect that shit when it's time for you to get in a relationship. What y'all think, man? Let's talk about it.
I feel like, I mean, I do agree with him. There's a lot of unhealthy relationships nowadays, and I feel like social media plays a big part as well. And a lot of relationships are just superficial. It's like, what can you do for me? What could I, you know what I mean? So it's not really like genuine. I feel like people don't really take the time to actually get to know the individual. And again, it comes down to like just being a people pleaser. Like they just want that superficial relationship, but people don't want to put in the work for it to actually work. If that makes sense. But that's just my opinion.
Nah, that does make sense. I feel like it's too many people that want the shortcuts or just want things handed to them. I remember, I was talking to wifey Amanda. She was telling me that she went to go to drop her daughter off to a party. Right, she went to a party and she's noticed that everybody was being antisocial. The new generation, they're being everybody's antisocial. The boys over here, the girls over here. Nobody wants to interact no more. I swear, when I was coming up. Back in my day, everybody was mixing and mingling all together. Why is it that, like, to Demi's point, why is it that nobody wants to take the time to get to know each other, talk, speak, just that genuine
That
bond
part.
and that vibe? Where the fuck did that go? It just seemed like it just went out the window. And y'all know what I'm talking about. The vibe. The vibe. It always was a vibe. It was like a bond. And if we had that, we was locked in. So go ahead, over to y'all. What's up?
Nah, it didn't go out the window, but like I was explaining yesterday in the room, it's just people are trying to protect their image nowadays. Like I understand the younger guys, like if you when you get called thirsty or oh he giving rapey vibes just because you trying to talk to a girl and she not interested, that makes motherfuckers bag away. So now y'all stay y'all ass over there, we gonna stay over here. You see what I'm saying? And that's the dynamic of the new generation now.
It
Seven. Why
moved
did
to
you
the internet.
automatically go to rapey vibes though? What are men doing
No,
for women to say this shit
oh,
though? It got to
look,
be a reason,
I
right?
got I got female friends. If a nigga is just too persistent, she's gonna say he got rapey vibes. That's all it takes. It don't that I automatically went there because that's where women automatically go.
Do you agree? Who agrees with this
That's
shit?
crazy.
Ray, where
That's
the fuck
crazy.
is
It
Ray
does go
at,
through the
man?
internet.
What is going on this fucking thing? Is this Ray? Please get this shit, bro. Take this.
It's a lack of creativity, man. Like people just ain't really willing to try because I think social media has created the illusion of options. You dig what I'm saying? Like you're not about to stick it in, learn nobody. The idea thought about forever with one person seems like a lot of work for most people. And I think that how you do one thing is how you do all things. Most people aren't out here planning their life out. So why would you assume that they are gonna plan out their relationships? They're
They
gonna
ain't
plan
trying to
out
put
their
the work
kids.
in, Ray.
Yeah, they're not. If you got people that have piss poor results in at their jobs or their relationships with people that they're not romantically involved with, why would you think that they're gonna be fucking winners at relationships and interpersonal, interactive relationships, amongst the individuals that they are having sex with. You know what I'm saying? I just think that people are winging it. I think a lot of the times, and I can't speak for women. I don't know what women should be doing, but you know, a lot of the homies that I even know, like they're not creative. You know what I'm saying? Like, they trying to clock numbers. They're not really trying to. I very rarely have seen a group of men gather around the fucking barbershop talking about seeking out a wife or some shit like that. So the I just don't think that
Nah, for real, Ray. We
you
in there
know what I'm
talking
saying?
about all the other shit.
Like come on, like you meeting women at the club, and this is the thing. I got a lot of homegirls too, right? What I think a huge thing that's missing is like a woman might give a man the opportunity to speak. They be like, "Hey, good morning," and then these niggas are sending dick pictures as the response. So that might come off a little bit.
Yo,
That
this
might
is
come off a little while. You know what I'm saying?
yo, Ray.
But that's because
Whoa.
they haven't seen it. They haven't seen it. They haven't seen a healthy relationship. We don't if we don't see it, how can you even think about being a creative individual? Be like, pull up on a lady, ask her how's her day, what does she do for a living, what's your name, what's your favorite color? What do you like to do on a daily basis? What's your exercise? What kind of exercise game do you have? Do
You
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 want to
know
go out for a walk? They don't do that no more.
you
They
know
don't
you
have they
know what
haven't
I
seen a healthy relationship.
you know what I guarantee they don't want is an unsolicited dick picture.
No,
Like I, I
That
could
they
I
part,
be
could just
wanting
go
facts.
dick
on a
pictures.
limb. I could just go on a limb and
They
say
be wanting
that the
But
last
that unsolicited dick pic depends on who you are and
they,
how much
they
they
be wanting
feeling you go too.
unsolicited dick.
The right person send it, they gonna be all
Yeah,
thirsty, be ready right then and there. The wrong person send it, that nigga's a rapist. Get him the fuck out of
yeah.
here.
If they like you, they want a dick pic. That's part of it. If they don't like you,
100%.
so yeah, they be wanting us because it let them know you interested. And it, you know what I'm saying? It's like, good morning is a real good morning now. So yeah, you don't be hating on that.
I don't know any woman that is doubting whether or not a man is trying to have sex with them. Y'all can keep them little pictures up front. Like, don't nobody need that confirmation like that. That's crazy. But I did want to mention, I think everybody is just scared now. But it's all about like finding somebody that you willing to take a chance on. When you meet that one person, it's almost like you assume it's not gonna work out, but you like, well, it might not work, but this nigga right here, he might be worth taking a chance on. And I think it's the same with men. Like when you meet that right one that you willing to take that chance on, you just go for it.
Yeah, I agree on that. I agree. But the unsolicited shit is gonna get you canceled. I don't give a fuck who you are. You know what I'm saying? I feel like too fast is too much. I don't give a fuck if you like me or not. I don't want to see everything too fast.
I
If I see
agree.
it too fast, I'm gonna think your ass is fast. Get the fuck out of here. Are you kidding me? That's why I like, yo, that's why I miss you remember how when it was the chase? It's the chase. That's what's the great thing. Nowadays you ain't gotta do that. You can go on Instagram and just see what everything look like. Y'all fucked the game up. The whole game is done. The whole game is done. That's why I'm glad I'm out of it. But y'all fucked the whole shit up. You don't have to wonder anymore. You can go on Instagram and go on your explore page now. Sick.
But it's also like the key word was unsolicited. You know what I'm saying? And niggas is pushing for that. Like they, like, good morning, rising dickness. You know what I'm saying? Like this is a crazy, crazy concept. And I also think that like for the majority of men, they just not having their way, right? So a lot of this is guessing. I'm not saying anybody in here, but just a lot of men are guessing. They guessing what women want. They guessing the best way to approach. Their method may not have worked on whatever woman that they've dealt with or whatnot, or they didn't get the result they deemed that they should be getting. And so that's had a negative effect on some men and their engagements with people. You dig what I'm saying? Like my thing is, as a man, figure out what you want. You dig what I'm saying? If you want wild, butt naked, random, no engagement ass energy, just hire prostitutes. If that's what you into, there shouldn't be no guilt to that. There shouldn't be no negative to that. You're gonna get exactly what you paid for. They got a list, a menu of things that you can get. I don't know why niggas shame um, getting what they want, right? If they don't want a relationship, if they don't want to engage in that type of behavior, why engage in that type of behavior? It's very confusing. You dig what I'm saying? Like, I don't see anything wrong with a man that doesn't want to be connected to a woman. But I think that the problem is that we act like men don't lie for access to women in their vaginas, and they absolutely do. You dig what I'm saying? So it's a very tangled web we in, man. Where people are, pushing for the dick pics, but it's just not that creative, man. You know what I'm saying? Like women most definitely are not that complicated. But if we making it complicated, this is Clubhouse.
Hey, yo, Stack, can I speak to
Go ahead,
the
Jody.
topic at all?
Come on, popcorn style, man. Let's go.
How you doing, my boy?
I'm doing good, man. How you feeling today? Good.
Yeah, man, peace to everybody on stage. But now, this is crazy, Stack. We were just discussing the same topic in another room, man, and basically, you know what I mean, what I shared, man, like, there's something that is, like, deeply interwoven in our culture right now, man. As black folks, man, we just, you know, it's almost like the more toxic the friends we got, the better. You know what I mean? For a lot of our sisters, their sister circle is all they got. And for a lot of us homies, man, you know what I mean? Our homies, you know, getting props and getting props from them is like earning 2K badges, nigga. You know what I mean? The more baddies I smash, you know what I mean? The more badges I get. You feel me? And so, you know what I mean? Like, and we gotta evolve out of that shit if we really looking for like meaningful relationships, man. Now if we just out here getting our dick wet, having sex, doing whatever, running wild, okay, yeah, it is what it is. But if we looking for meaningful relationships. We looking for long term relationships, man. We got to mature out of that, man. And we can still love and be around those toxic friends, man. Because you know, what I mean, you don't want to X them out. A lot of these people are people that we've grown up with, went to school with. Some of them we work with, so it's not always an option to just dodge them or avoid them, right? But to take dating advice, man, and kind of let their advice dictate our life choices. Matter of fact, you're in a bad space if that's even your go-to, especially at our big grown age when we know that the advice is toxic, and you're gonna let that kind of you know what I mean, dictate your life choices. Like, boy, you're in a bad spot, you down bad, bro.
Hey, can I touch up on what you just said, Jody? Um, you know, there is this thing that I'm noticing too, and it's been happening for a while where, and I'm sure you guys heard about this. Misery loves company. So there are people out there who purposely seek out other people that are doing what we would label as bad things. Sometimes bad is good, right? Like when someone is and how we define bad is now good. Anyways, there's for myself, you know, being that I'm a Gen Xer, but all these little terms, especially with the cross lining of like the different ages, and the different terminology that people have, like I'm confused around it. So I just try to like pay attention to the meat and to the actions that people have. And what I have observed in the last um, eight- 20 years of getting back in the dating pool and being in and out of being engaged and getting out of engagement and almost getting married and not getting married is that other women, and there are men too, because I have a lot of male friends that does this, where they would group each other and they would talk about how they would just not necessarily shame, but they would say negative things about someone and just pile together on that, and then they would egg each other on these bad decisions. Overall, what I've noticed are women are worst at it, especially when someone is doing good. Like when I was in a good relationship, every time I get into a good relationship, I had to recognize that I was in a bad group of women who were putting down my good
Hold
choices.
up, Sally. So you're saying that the women you were surrounding yourself with was shitty? Is that what you're saying,
Yeah.
sister? They was shitty.
Well, you said it. They were shitty, and I didn't know how shitty they were. Right? Misery, right? They were miserable and they wanted me to be miserable with them, and I had no clue. Man, these days I'm alone and I'm okay with it. My best friend is my little black dog over here, and we good, we happy.
And that
But I had to
motorcycle that I be
recognize
seeing you
that.
whip around too, Sally. Yeah.
Oh, that's true. That's true. That's Kevin. I had to name that. I had to name that bike so that when I go places, I don't sound like I'm single. So yeah, I ride around town with Kevin, and it's been fun. And somebody called it the biggest female vibrator for some reason, but whatever. It's fun. It's right? So I'm riding around, Kevin is, and it's great, people, but yeah, so other women, there are women out there. Now I know there are other women on this stage too, and share if you've experienced it or have not experienced it, if you've noticed it yourself, that there are women who will perpetuate that toxic behavior, and rather than encourage you for the good decisions you're making, they're making that guy sound bad, and then same is true for the other direction. So that's all. I land my mic here. Thanks for listening.
Ooh-wee. Now, if you guys are just now joining, we've been talking about, do women and men take dating advice from toxic friends? The friends that ain't never been through the fire, ain't never been with somebody. Shitty friends, like how Sally was saying, yeah, girl, he ain't shit. And then it causes you to lose out on shit. Because they ain't got shit. Now y'all all walking around without shit. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? You listen to one person, that was a damn domino effect. I want to continue this conversation. Share the room out, ping the room out. I got Sister Diego coming in too. Whenever you can jump in, please. Ray, Demi, AK's here. Delvin, PhD, thank you for coming through today. Nacho, I appreciate you too, sister. For Sean, Sally. Wifey Amanda, Senorita, my sisters is in the building, right? Ping this up, share this up, so that way we can have more conversation. I'm gonna leave this open for now. Also, join the Gender Wars house if you're not a part of it, and also join the Media Mentors Mega Mansion. So when I do business conversations and I talk about gold and crypto and trading, you're there with me and Sally Mary, so that way you guys can get some gems, right? I appreciate you. Let's continue this conversation. Do men and women take dating advice from toxic friends? That's what I want to know. The floor is open. Let's go.
I know I have, but not recently. Let me see. What's up, Cassie, Ray? Let me see. So if I think about toxic advice, like you said, once you started talking about it, I was like, oh, that's it, right? Because they're jealous. I couldn't think about that earlier, Stack, but I get it now. So they're jealous. They're telling you he's nothing, he's this, he's that, and then you drop him, and then that's what Sally Mary was saying. They come and try and swoop him. I get it now.
Oh, so it's the jealousy.
Hmm.
So the jealousy's working through. So basically, you got friends. You got friends that are jealous of other friends. Maybe because of who you are and what you got into or what you've been able to accomplish. I don't know. I don't understand this, but the negative vibes gotta evaporate. It gotta go. Stay away from negative vibes, especially when you get into a relationship. A lot of people will be miserable in their own shit or have their own walk of life, right? And then you know project that onto your shit. So just stay clear of that bullshit. Who else wants to come in? I want to continue this conversation. I want to hear from brother Fashawn. Everybody, man. Let's continue. Floor is open.
Look at Lalita looking all sexy. Lalita, you are killing it lately.
Well, thank you. But this is old, but
What
thank
do
you.
you think? Do you take advice from your toxic friends on dating?
No, because I'm the one they come to. My toxic friends come to me because they know when they're going through it. So no.
What's some of the craziest toxic stuff you heard, Lalita, from some of your friends that came to you that wanted you to fix something? I mean, you sound level headed, right? So they coming to you to fix things. What's some of the craziest shit you heard from some of your friends that you had to
Well,
fix?
I couldn't
Is there
fix
anything you
it,
can
but they
remember?
had to fix it. I usually it's just advice or like I'm the friend that's not the stupid one. So like I won't amp your degeneracy. Like you trying to beat someone up or pull up at someone's house or try to flex on the next person. So they'll come to me when they actually want, you know, that type of friend. There's a lot of friends that are amp friends or ones that encourage them to do dumb shit because they think it's, cool or whatever. I don't know. But mm, probably something that they talked to a different friend and was like, oh, we should go to her. Well, this is when we were younger, but like, oh, we should go to their house and see what's going on, like a pull up or a drive by. I think this stuff is stupid.
A drive by? What the
Not like an
fuck?
actual
Somebody.
drive by, but I'm saying like to drive and by the house,
Oh, I
not like
thought you meant a
yeah, like yeah.
187. Okay, okay, okay. I thought she was
I
trying to
might
shoot
even
some shit up in this
I be
motherfucker.
seeing y'all terminologies get mixed up here because I'm
Damn,
Mafia.
I thought they was about to really start shooting shit. Damn, that's
Like
crazy.
I'll put that down because I don't want to. I don't do none of that. If you have drama with your relationships, keep it over there.
Yes,
Stack.
Senorita, over to you. What's going on? Do you feel like?
Can I
Go ahead.
say
I got a question for you, Senorita. Do you feel like
well,
people should cut off their toxic friends as soon as they hear some toxic information? Should you just cut it off, or should you tolerate shit until a certain point? What's up, sister?
one second, Stack.
I don't think you should tolerate anything. I think it should be done. As soon as you give me some toxic information and it fuck up anything in my life and it make me stressful, you're done. I'm never taking information from you again. We're never gonna be able to talk. Don't give me none of the information. It's all bad advice. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to. I don't. It's like once you give me that vision of this bad shit, I don't want to hear about it no more. It's over. I don't care about nothing you have to say, especially if it's toxic information and it's bad information, especially if you think it's good, because you can have two people that's thinking this information is good, but this shit's really not good, bro. Both of y'all are wrong, right? Now both of y'all toxic.
Hey, Stack, I'm like that too, man. Any friend, man or woman that I've noticed over the years or however long I've known them, if they continually give me like a pattern of pessimistic perspectives on what I got going on, there's always some You know what I mean? Like if I meet a new chick and they're like, oh, she gonna do you like the last one, or man, you're moving too fast, man. Shoot, it ain't gonna work out. If that's the first thing out their mouth, like perpetually, yeah, you gotta go. Like I said earlier, I mean, I might still be in contact with them, you know what I mean? Because everybody you can't avoid. But as far as me embracing your perspective and letting you speak into my spirit and soul, nah, I'm feeding you with a long handle spoon.
Jody, I got a question for you, bro. Be the first one to kick this off real quick. Our question for all y'all. But is rap music destroying the gender relations too? Because I hear a lot of toxic shit in the raps, and then it comes out on social media, and these people are thinking they're these people that are speaking through these lyrics. Jody, how you feeling, bro? Be the first one to kick this off. Is rap music destroying the gender relations and what people are expecting and shit? Talk to me, man. Let's get into it.
I believe it's highly influential. Absolutely. You're onto something with that, man, you know. But at the same time, I'm an older dude. I grew up on 90s hip hop. You know, I'm from North Carolina, so I grew up on the, you know what I mean? The Nas, the Wu Tang, you know. Uh, and it's definitely different, man. It's like the music is more influential than it's ever been, in my opinion, as far as the younger generation. Like, older people, we kind of set in our ways, but this younger generation, man, it's taken a turn from the worst, man. And for anybody to say anything different, man, I mean, people are entitled to their perspective, but if you're not seeing it with your own two eyes, man, you blind.
I'm glad you said that, Jody. Anybody else want to come in? Is rap music or the rap songs nowadays just destroying the men and the women if they're listening to the lyrics? Because you are what you listen to. So I really want to understand this. Let's go. Who wants to come in next? Delvin,
I'm coming in.
Ray,
I'm coming right
Diego's my
now.
sister Diego. What's
What?
up? Is the
This is
rap
my
nowadays fucking it?
clean brother Stackpack. Listen. All right, I just put the baby down, so I'm gonna be very quick. I'm gonna answer your first title, the one
Okay,
you had
okay, go
before you
ahead, go
just
ahead, go
changed this
ahead, go
one. Toxic friends. What was it?
ahead.
Should
From
people take
toxic
advice
friends
from
to
toxic
dating
friends?
advice. Yeah.
I think a lot of friends keep a lot of other friends single, and I think a lot of friends, when you have single friends and you're in a relationship, that can also cause you to become single. Um, Single people live very different lives than people who are married. So I think you have to be very careful if you're going to take advice from anyone, honestly. Um, Even when it comes down to toxicity, I think we do have to sometimes give people a little bit of grace, a little scoop of grace to kind of see if they can pull out from that. I always tell people when I first met Raquel, I was going to cut Raquel clean off. She was way further from culture than I actually would prefer in terms of a friend. So for me, it was I kind of like if this girl can't kind of get it together, I already knew I was gonna leave her right where she was, and I meant that. And I love Raquel to death. Anyone who knows me knows I love Raquel to death, but I was gonna leave her ass right then and there.
You
And
was
I
gonna
think
leave her, Diego?
I was going to
Shit.
leave her right then and there. But it's very important for people to be diligent about who they have in their circle. I feel like anyone who's going to cause you to stray from God, you got to get rid of them. Anyone who's not going to help you work through issues, like if you have friends and when something happens, the first thing they're telling, leave that nigga, leave him. Those are not the people you want. Like problem solving, conflict resolution is something we take for granted. So when you find people that possess the skills to help you figure that out, it is very important to embrace those people. So I just wanted to put that part in before you change the topic. Is rap music destroying gender relations? No. Y'all bad fucking decisions are. Y'all are bad at picking people, bad at building community, bad at maintaining relationships. Most of y'all have not had long relationships where because I listen to some of the expectations that people have, and it makes it very clear that yeah, like mostly well, not most, but a lot of people have never really been in a long term relationship based on the things that they expect from day two of meeting a person. So I don't think it's music. I don't think it's Cardi B. I don't think it's any of those things. Y'all just make bad decisions. You have bad communities. You don't have a village of support, and your discernment is off. I land. Thank you so much.
We got my sister Diego. That's what it is. Says y'all decisions. It's not the music. It's not none of that. It's not. It's not Cardi. It's not Meg. That's what Diego says, right? I love that, Diego. Who else wants to come in? Is rap music destroying the gender relations? What's going on? Who's in the building? Who's taking this mic next? Who wants to come in after Diego? Let's continue this conversation. I feel like Diego laid it down right there. Diego, Diego just bombed it. Y'all, it's over now. Sadly, Diego bombed it. Damn, that's crazy. Damn, Diego.
Well,
It ain't the rap music. Go ahead, Sally.
it makes sense, right? It's kind of like people say guns kill people. No, 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 no. People kill people, not guns.
Mm.
And right, it's the same thing with toxic behaviors. Same thing with like, but there is that dose of influence. Like I get it if you're someone who is a follower instead of leading your own brain, because we have our own orishas, right? We have our own. The body is our temple. Our orisha is in our head, and if you allow things to enter your temple and toxify you, yeah, I get it if you don't know any better. Like I can only use that excuse for so long. I'm like, I didn't know any better. You know how long I could play Forrest Gump? I can't. Even Forrest Gump got smart after a while. You know what I'm saying? So it's about taking lead. It's about being aware of what's going on with you and then taking lead. And I love everything that she just said. She's on point with that. And it's like the safety on the gun. I bought a Ruger recently, and somebody says, "Well, that's
Oh,
like a
you
shotgun."
got a Ruger? What you doing over there, Sally?
Well,
What the hell you working?
I was out shooting, and my friends noticed, hey, that thing doesn't have any safety. I go, yeah, because the safety is my finger. So that's like the same with what Diego said. Our safety is us taking action on that bad advice. It's only toxic to us if we pull the trigger on it. So that makes sense. I love your share, Diego.
Hey, so I want to butt in and
Thank you,
be
Sally.
on the other side of things because Sally just said something that was important. Um, everybody is not a leader. Most people in the world are followers. So therefore, music would have that impact on them in a way that it won't on you. And I think when you say that, like, it won't have that impact, you don't give yourself enough credit for breaking those chains off of your own mind. Yes, it don't have an effect on you because you're strong-minded and strong-willed, but everybody ain't the same, and we can't expect them to be either.
So you giving Diego some pushback. So you're saying that not everybody has the mental capacity to listen to the music, but then don't take everything from the music and react to it and shit like that. That's what you're saying, right? So that's what you're trying to go.
And that's majority. That's majority of people. Like it takes a fucking unicorn to be able to just listen to the music and just enjoy it for what it is. Most people are not like that. Most people can't differentiate between fiction and you know what I mean and what's real.
And that's where I feel where you coming from too. That's why I said when some of these young kids that wasn't taught right from wrong, right? Because I feel where Diego's coming from. I feel it. I feel it. It's you. It's the decisions. But then you also got the side where Seven's coming from. You got young kids that's not being taught what's right from wrong, listening to this music. NBA young boys they idol. You got NBA young boy as they idol. Ain't
NBA
nobody. They ain't looking up to nobody else. They got posters of young boy on their wall. Seven. What's up, bro?
NBA young boy is most of their idol when you got niggas like J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar's and you know what I mean? And it's a bunch of fucking positive rappers out here. Like people act like, you know what I mean? And then I heard the one guy say like, oh, back in my day, nigga, back in your day, nigga, y'all had Uncle Luke, nigga. They was still talking about smacking ass fucking bitches. Like,
they
go
was
ahead
still
on,
they was
man.
still
Like,
pop locking
it
and
was still the
dropping it,
same
bro.
shit. You had your conscious artists, you had your fucked up, you know what I mean, street artists. Like, it was still the same shit. There's no difference.
Yo, I feel where Seven's coming from. He's giving a pushback on that side. Amber, thank you for coming to the stage too, sister. We
Happy Wednesday, bro. How are
How you
you?
doing, Amber? We've been talking. We switched the title. We were talking about do men and women take toxic dating advice from their friends, and then we switched it to is rap music destroying gender relations. So whenever you want to jump in, Amber, feel comfortable. But we just been chopping it up about that. Seven was saying that some people are just listening to this music, and now these rappers are their idols. Now you got this shit, destroying your relationships now, right? Because you think you're young boy, or you think you're this person because you wasn't taught just to listen to the music and that's it. You know what I'm saying? So I want to talk about this today. I appreciate you guys. Does anybody else want to chime in after 7? George, Demi, Lalita, AK, Delvin, PhD, Sally, for Sean, Senorita. I know Amanda's at work, but I want you guys to chime in, right? Is rap music destroying gender relations? Is it destroying what people expect in relationships? Let's talk about it. Let's get it.
I'm at work too, so I'm just basically listening.
Well, for me, I think everybody really said some really good points there. Um, I don't think that rap music is destroying a lot of, these young generations and stuff, but also I believe 777 made a good point as well. Like, you really have to be mentally strong to not let that affect you. And I believe Sally, too, she did make a good point by saying you are only the whole thing about, you pulling the trigger, right? So the final decision really comes up to you for making that bad decision. It's not the whole music and all of that. Yeah, some people are really not that mentally strong to not get influenced by it and all of that, but I guess it's a work in progress for a lot of people to really make the differentiation between the music, that whole lifestyle, and their reality, right? So there was a lot of good points made there. Just adding my 2 cents.
I appreciate that, Demi. I feel like we wrapped it up right there. We did that. You feel me? It's rap music. It's over. I feel like Diego dropped the bomb. 7 dropped the bomb. That's it. There's no more argument on it. If y'all didn't want to talk about it, it's over. Y'all done argued it down. Yeah, I feel like the music promotes certain shit, but it's up to you to take what's not for you or what you know is morally not right. You know what not to fuck with or what not to pour into yourself or what not to do from the music, right? I feel like people should instill that, but don't let people
Or
freely
do
listen
they?
to music. What's up, man?
Or do they know?
Oh shit. Well, what's up, 7? Do they know what's up?
I'm saying, do they know? Like, do they know what not? It's easier to be a fucked up person, like to you see what I'm saying? Like a lot of us come from the hood, but we not out here shooting motherfuckers or robbing them or selling drugs or
Mm-hmm.
stripping for the women's side. But that's because we are the chosen ones. Like we are the ones that you feel me. Everybody can't have that credit. That's something that you worked on, and I don't think you give yourself like I said, like Diego. I don't think Diego give herself enough credit for how strong her mind is for breaking those chains and what I mean, knowing what to consume and what not to consume. That's your superpower. That's not for everybody.
Um, although,
Hey,
real
oh
quick,
my bad. Go ahead.
although I do agree with the statement of everybody has a choice. With that statement that I do agree with, are we going to hold that intellectual discernment standard to children? Is that what we're going to do? Because your intellectual, your mature mind is fully developed, I would assume. So it's easy for you to say, oh, well, everyone has a choice. You have to know how to differentiate. But are we going to hold that same intellectual standard to children whose world on the fly is being shaped by perception, music, and the people that they hang with? That would be the question I would ask you, or anyone who actually agrees with the
If
whole, oh, you have a choice.
oh
I like that you just posed that. That's good. So here's why. For two reasons. One, like you said, innocent mind don't know any better, right? And so are we going to step up and guide them? And also, do we hold them in a different set of standards so that we have compassion for them? And then two, I want to know, I want to piggyback off of a question of, are you the kind of friend? Do you? I would consider you toxic if you're the kind of friend who will watch me make some bad decisions, taking a bad advice. Because I feel like, and I did that. I got rid of those friends. If you're gonna stand by, if you're gonna be a bystander, you're not innocent because you heard and saw what happened.
Hey, wait, why are we
Stack,
switching it from
Stack.
children to the adults?
Uh oh. Uh oh. Uh oh.
We're talking about children
Yeah.
here, and you're going back to being an adult. Are we gonna hold the
I
same account? Are we gonna hold children to the same accountability, intellectual standard as we hold
You
ourselves?
can't because they still being taught in the process. They haven't lived enough life to understand everything. Even if you could tell them, they still don't understand. So you can't hold. You got to give, you know what I mean, the younger generation grace when it comes to that until they are exposed to that. And if you want to take upon that to teach them that, then kudos to you. But you can't hold them to the same standards. That's why there's no such thing as a bad kid. That's why I don't like when people call their kids bad. Oh, he bad. I don't like that shit for the simple fact of he don't know enough life yet to determine whether he's bad or not. Or if he's heading down the wrong path, then you straighten him out. The same way you should do
Yeah,
your friends. And this goes back to what
yeah,
Sally
that's
was
why.
saying.
And that's
Straighten your
why the
fucking friends out. It don't matter. Don't tell them, don't focus on how you're saying it and what's being said. Because facts don't give a fuck about your feelings.
and that's why
Yeah,
the
so
music is
hold on.
trash
Let
and
me
that
say
has to
something.
go.
Can I say something? Can I get in here,
That's a
please?
Yes, sir.
fact. That's a fact. Rob, yo,
So,
Rob, let's get back in there. We were talking about the rap music, but then also after y'all are done talking about the rap music, man, switch it up, man. I need y'all to ping the room up, share the room up. I be getting tired of topics. When y'all be going on and on, I be getting tired of them. So, can a woman respect a broke man with a vision? Talk about that too. But I hear y'all talking about the rap music too. But ping the room up and share the room up. Pass it to Rob. Rob been trying to fight over Int and Seven. But Rob, over to you, bro. You can chime into whatever you want, take it anywhere. But ping the room out and share the room out so we can expand gender wars. Over to you, brother. Let's go.
what's up? Appreciate it, Stack. So, look, yeah, to the rap music, more so for me, it's about the labeling. And I'm not going to go deep into it. It's just that this YN thing is really disturbs me. I don't call them YNs. I call them YM, young men, because that's what they are. And the labeling them is the other thing. YN to me is really disheartening. Because words matter and labeling matters, especially when it comes to our young men. If we want better for them, then we need to give them better terms than YN. So I'm gonna leave it at there. But as far as the respect for a broke man with a vision, the $217 child support payment is real. So obviously these women are giving their bodies to men that they so-called respect, who have very little or no money. I mean, because the reality is that a lot of men can't even afford to pay child support, but yet they haven't had 2 or 3 kids. These women are still having sex with them. I'm done.
Damn, Rob just dropped it. Damn. Okay. Okay,
Hey,
Rob.
Stack, I want to speak to
Okay, go
you real
ahead,
quick.
Jody. Hop up in there, bro. Let's go.
Well, before I speak to the current topic, I just want to weigh in on the last one just real quick. And I agree with everything Sister Diego said. So this isn't like to really challenge or push back on what she said. But I don't want to minimize the power of music in our community, man. I mean, Ryan Coogler showed us in the new Michael B. Jordan movie. You remember the scene when old boy was playing the guitar? And that nigga literally opened up a whole nother dimension in the sky. Goddamn, called on the ancestors and jumped us into the future and all that shit. That was some real like shit. Some people from a fleshly viewpoint might see that as some bullshit or non-significant shit. That nigga was actually showing us what goes on in the spirit realm when we play music. Our shit ain't just regular music, man. We are like God putting this something in our DNA that like our music ain't just regular music. We literally manipulate like the spirit realm. So I like, you know what I mean? I don't want to like minimize the power of our musical power. You know what I mean? If that makes sense, because it does matter. You know what I mean? What we put on wax, because our music ain't just regular music. But yeah, can a woman respect a broke man with vision? Absolutely. I see him doing it every day, but it's less and less these days. You know, and mostly because a lot of these sisters are getting burnt out. You know what I mean? A lot of these broke men still broke. That nigga was broke 2 years ago. He's still broke. So I mean, it's like if you're a broke man, get off of your ass before you lose that good woman, man, because she see the vision that you have, but you got to capitalize on it. Feel me?
I want to disagree with that too. A woman cannot respect a broke man. The moment that woman has to help you do something, she's going to look at you funny even if she stays there with you. It's never going to be the same. You never accept nothing from a woman as a man. That's from my experience.
Interesting. Good afternoon, everybody. So, what's interesting about this?
Mamiya was good, bro.
How you doing, man? what's interesting about this, and this, I'm gonna, if you don't mind, I'm gonna riff a bit about the previous question and bring it into the current one. So I don't think I don't think it's a question of bad friends or toxic friends or however you want to use it. I think it's a lot worse than that. I think the entire black love discourse is toxic, and the reason why is because it's not rooted in any actual facts.
Oh yeah.
That's why. So to bring it into the current question, the answer is maybe, right? For example, if you're a guy, like let's say, for example, you're a businessman, right? Now, businesses go in cycles, boom, bust, boom, bust. You go through a rough patch. So you may be doing okay when y'all get together. You might hit a rough patch. That's different from the guy who has no plan, has no wins, no track record. That's a different guy. So my answer would be to that, maybe. As a general rule, the studies tell us that in Black America, the number one reason for divorce, number one, is money. Number one, not infidelity. Infidelity, I think, is like number three or number four. It's in the top five, to be sure, but it's not infidelity. It's money. Number one. So yeah, it matters. But I think if you're a guy and you got a pretty decent track record of making things happen, and then you hit a skid, that's a bit different. That gets you some goodwill. So that's my take on it.
Thank you for that, Mamiya. If you guys are just joining, we've been talking about can a woman respect a broke man with vision. This is the shit I want to talk about. Sally, thank you for being here. PhD, AK, Diego, Lalita, Mamiya, Demi, Jody, everybody that's in the room today. I appreciate you guys. Ping the room up, share the room up, so we can have more people talk about this. But can a woman respect a man that's broke? He got a vision though? This is real interesting what y'all been saying and what I've been hearing. The floor is open. Kay, thank you for coming up. George, Just, Seven, Amara. Come on, let's continue. I'm gonna keep it popcorn style. Whoever wants to snatch the mic, let's go. Let's continue the topic.
I
Depends on the
think
woman.
that a woman can respect a man who's broke because broke is temporary. Poor is a state of mind, broke is temporary. By the same token, I don't believe that she should help him build his vision. That's his vision, not her vision. I've seen a lot of women help a man build his vision for him to leave her after he's built his vision. So I just recommend to hang out with a guy who has a vision, who's making his vision come to reality, and who's allowing you to go along for the ride if you want to go along for the ride. That's what I think. Because broke is just a temporary state of mind. It's not a long term poor thing. I'll land.
I mean, do y'all don't think like if y'all are together, it's not both of y'all vision. Like I get that. Like I get like a man has to stand up on his own 2 feet, but it's like if you're with him, anything that makes him greater, if y'all plan to stay together, it should positively impact you. And then the other thing is like I don't know, maybe I'm a generous person or whatever, but it's like even if that person leaves me, if I helped make them greater, then that made the when we were together greater. Like I don't see that necessarily as a risk. Like, oh my God, you poured into somebody and y'all didn't end up together. Wow, you had a positive impact on somebody in the world. Like, wow, like is it, I don't know. Maybe I'm just not selfish. I don't know. I don't get that. Like I don't see any problem with having respect for a respectable man, regardless of how much money he currently has. Because like I saw a bunch of men that were up get destroyed by the pandemic. Some of their wives lost respect for them and they broke up and they got divorced over it. And some of them stuck it together and those same men are back up again. Why? Because The traits that got them up in the first place didn't go anywhere. The pandemic might have lost them their job, but it didn't lose them who he is as a man. So I don't know.
I see some, yeah, people saying it's temporary. You know what I'm saying? It's a temporary mindset. Temporary. You can always fix it. I definitely agree with that. I want to continue this conversation with everyone. Let's go. Who's coming in next? Go ahead, Demi.
Well, for me, I would say, I guess it really depends, like, who your partner is. So, you got to be really smart in choosing a partner. And for a lot of women, I would say that, yeah, they can agree that, they don't mind being with a broke man and all of that, but it's just a matter of time and how long is he staying broke for, you know? I feel like a lot of women don't mind working it out with them and all of that, but I guess they just want to see like the ambition, the drive, and looking at their man and be like, okay, you know what, he's really serious about not staying broke and doing better and all of that. So I feel like it's a matter of time because a lot of women, okay, maybe I shouldn't be saying a lot of women, but there are women that would be like, yeah, I will stay with my man even if he's broke. But when things really get tough and money comes into the picture and all of that and the finances are not so great, like it's eventually it would start causing some issues, and she might start losing some respect, she might start viewing him in a certain light and all of that. So yeah, like women can be with a broke man, but I guess it just there's a timeline for it until they start looking I guess somewhere else, or just looking at him like, hey, you're not doing anything to better the situation, so I'm out. And again, I like I said, it really depends on who your partner is. Cause some, yeah, will stick through thick and thin. Some will stick as long as it can benefit them, and some will be like, you know what, I can't do this, I'm out. So it really depends on the type of individual, I believe. But in most cases, if you have a good one and there's actually genuine love, people can really work through the hard times and all of that. But that's what I think.
I'm a father of a daughter, and certain things I'm just gonna do my hardest to teach my daughter to not fall into certain traps like that. But here's an example of that broke, but y'all taking broke men mentality. I never understand it. But if he's broke, just because he got a little job, right? We move a dude in there working at McDonald's into a space. 2 months later, he lost his job. He'll sit around the house for weeks, months even, right? And women go through this. I've watched this. I've seen this happen. And all the while, her male cousins, myself, including, asking her, what the hell is she doing? It's always, well, I believe he go do better. I'm trying to help him. I'm trying to help him. I'm like, go. That's not how you do that, little cousin. You're hindering him, giving him your space, by giving him your bed, by giving him your body. She didn't listen. Oh, well, oh, and behold, up jumps the boogie. She got pregnant. Guess what happens? He moves to Alabama from New Orleans. So I don't think it's cool for women 25, 30, 40 years old be pushing that it's a possible positive thing to be having a broke man. No, man, absolutely not.
I agree with George. There's certain things you're supposed to instill. Like, that shit wasn't a good decision. Or to teach your people, like, yo, look out for this. Or look, like, you got to be taught that shit. It got to be instilled in you, bro. If it's not instilled, it's over. You're going to get out there just shooting random targets, random dots, that shit, and it's just never going to fucking work. Can a woman respect
a broke man with a vision. I feel like you got to have something going on. You can't be completely broke, bro. I don't care what no one's saying. Like, but I've seen certain situations where, oh yeah, that I'll accept you for who you. Fucks no. You gotta be making something shake, bro. Before I was trading crypto, bro, like back in the day, bro, I used to push, bro. I was pushing, bro. I used to sell, bro. Like, come on, I'm gonna make it shake anyway, bro. I'm not gonna just stand on my ass, bro. Before I got into the entrepreneurship, I found ways, bro. There's too many ways out here to make a bag. But for you to be broke and still have a vision, I feel like it ain't really I ain't really fucking with it. You feel me? You're supposed to be on your purpose, on purpose. You know. Let's continue this conversation. Can a woman respect a broke man with a vision? I think not. I'm pushing back. I think no. Fucks no. You ain't got nothing going on, no motion. It's over. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's over. You're gonna be in the back burner, in the back of the back, in the back of the train. It's over.
I agree.
Who agrees? Who's that?
Amira.
Amira. Yep. Talk to me. You're in the back. You're in the back of the train. You're gonna be treated like the bus boy.
Mm.
Let's go.
I don't want to treat them bad. I just let
You
them
gonna
go.
be at the bottom. It don't matter if you don't want to. You gonna treat him at the bottom. You know what I mean? If he ain't buying flowers, he ain't taking you out to eat. He ain't doing his job as a man. Even if that's the basic shit. But if he ain't doing at least the basic shit to
I'm
keep a
gone.
woman, yeah, it's a wrap. But he
That's
has a
what I was
vision.
saying,
I'm gonna
bro.
do
I'm
this. I'm gonna
gone.
do that. I'm gonna do. Some of these men take 10, 20 years to get this shit done.
Damn. No,
The
I'm
fuck,
gone.
right, Amira? What's going on? Why? Why?
I'm going. I'm gone. I don't know why, because I don't have that mindset. Any man I've ever been with has always been on his business. He's always been seven figures. I've never dated anybody under seven figures. So they think differently. They don't think about paycheck to paycheck. They don't think broke. They think prosperity. They think standing on business. They're always making it happen. That's what I notice about them. And that's what
That's
I know
absolutely
about them.
true. But he didn't pop out the womb making seven figures. So clearly something,
Yeah.
I mean,
Come on,
thank
some of
K.
you.
what,
Yo,
Now,
K,
some of
wake
that
it
now
up,
might
K.
anybody under 7 figures ain't shit.
K, wake it
yeah,
up,
but
bro.
like,
What
They
up,
I'm
bro?
aren't
gonna do. I'm gonna
shit.
do
I
that.
never said that. I never said they aren't shit. I never said that. Don't put words on my mouth. I did not say that. I was just letting you know what I've never dated because my dad taught me that. My dad was seven figures. He taught me how to be treated as a woman, and he shared with me to always be with somebody with an aligned mindset. Yeah, I have my own seven figures. So I'm not
right.
dependent on a guy with seven figures, but I'm just saying I don't want to be with one who does not have seven figures because we're not aligned. I
But
have friends with no seven figures. I get along with a lot of people. I'm just talking about relationship. That's all I'm talking about. Who is going to be my man? Who do I want to align with? Who do I want to hold hands with walking down the street, walking down the beach, walking in the park? Who do I want to be around? Someone that's
Need seven
we're
figures for that?
aligned with each other. So
Are you married?
don't fuss at me. Don't fuss at me because of y'all said open discussion, right? So I said I already gave y'all a first perspective. I said no broke men because that's a temporary state of mind. You don't
So he gotta have
listen.
y'all.
There have been men
You
who've
just
been
seven
broke
figures in
before, and
all
they
day and night. I don't believe it. I don't know.
but,
I don't know.
okay.
but
You don't
sweetheart,
have
like,
to
Something
believe it because
sounding real
uh,
fishy on
you
this
people
no,
who
stage,
don't
dog.
make
let's take
seven
her for
figures
face
don't
value.
believe the ones who do. So that's okay.
Right.
That's okay for you to say. That's really okay. All I
I
was
get.
doing was stating my opinion. Don't fuss at me because of how I roll. I was just enjoying in the open conversation.
No,
That's it.
Yeah, but
I
you said
agree
Thank
with
something
I
you.
agree
provocative
with
though.
you
Thank
that
you.
men
Hold
But
on,
Thank
hold
one
on,
you.
but
mic
hold
on
on,
Mamiya and K. Let me
but
get
hold on,
Mamiya and K in
but
here.
hold on, but
Mamiya
hold
then
on,
K.
but hold on a second. Yes, it's true. You were giving your opinion, but your opinion was provocative. Now I don't know. I don't know. You know, I'm not going to try to speculate your motives. That's not. I don't know what you intend to do. But just listening to the reaction of others tells me that intentional or otherwise, You provoked others. Now, you could say, well, that's on them. That ain't on me. Okay, fair enough. I'm just simply saying that, at least one of the things I learned about public speaking, I know a little bit about it, is that, the feedback you get from what you say in public, that's something that you might want to consider. That's the way I was taught, Toastmasters, all that sort of stuff. So there you go.
Yeah, I did Toastmasters when I was 17. I've been on television in front of millions of people up in the top 10 markets, so I'm familiar with public speaking as well. I'm not disrespecting anyone. I just stated my case. That's all I did. And
I don't
anybody
actually
who
disagree.
knows me, they know I don't care. I don't give a damn.
I need to see the face behind Betty Boop. Who are you?
So
Hmm?
Oh,
I don't.
I'm
Hmm? Who
beautiful
are you?
behind Betty Boo. I am beautiful, and you can't have me. Why should I show you me? Do you have seven
So
figures?
so
No. You
okay.
can't even see me.
So I don't. I actually don't disagree with the. I actually don't disagree with her point about the mindset about men
I got
who
7 figures. Can I see you?
rather. I'm just saying I don't disagree about her when she said the mindset that these men have. It's not a paycheck to paycheck one. It's different. They're thinking about opportunity differently. All that stuff. I don't disagree with that. The point I was trying to make was none of those men came out the womb with 7 figures. So at some point, even the point she said about how her dad raised her to look for men with certain traits. At some point, those men that she dated a year before, or 5 years before, or 10 years before she dated them, when they all had 7 figures, they didn't have 7 figures, but they still got there. So the point is that you can vet a man by those traits, and the money is an outcome, right? It's an external reflection of an internal process, right? If you're a man who's hardworking, you're skilled, you know how to apply that to a problem in the world, you're gonna make money. That it's not it's not a question of if, it's when. So that's all I was saying. I don't necessarily disagree with her about the mindset thing. I just think it's dumb that if that's how she moves, that's the environment she came from, where she can just pick men that are already there. Good for her and good for her family, that setup. But most black women out here don't have that setup. So they're not going to be able to pick from a bunch of men. Their best chance at a man who's going to make that much money is getting him on the upward trajectory. That's a fact. So I just don't want these conversations to discourage those women from being with those guys because the outcome isn't there yet, and feeling like they can't respect them because they haven't achieved what they're eventually going to achieve.
Well,
That's the point. That's the only point.
I'm in alignment with you, K Dusty. And how do I say this? Warren Buffett would probably agree with you. And I think it's fair to say that Warren Buffett knows a little something about money. I'll just leave it there.
Yeah, like I don't know. I just see it all the time, man. Because it's like there are particular traits of men that I chose to surround myself with in college before none of us knew what we even were going to major in. Every single one of them has a 6 figure job right now. Every single one of them's got a piece of real estate. Every single one of them's healthy. They're doing well for themselves, and they have it. They're not going to be without work ever, probably. So it's like there's something there. Again, we all met off the basis of shared values, and we like enjoyed hanging out with each other in college. Most of us took loans to be there. So it pains me to know that there are some people that, and it's for women and men, that would overlook these guys because they met at a snapshot in time where they were on an upward trajectory, but they missed viewing the upward trajectory because they didn't have what they wanted at the top of the mountain at that time. And I think it's something that should be talked about more because I don't know. I think a lot of people are gonna miss their chance. Like I got cousins that are 40, and they're talking about I can't find a man who makes this and da da da. And I'm like, but you had men who got there that if you stayed with would be there now. So
Well,
like
you're making a
see how
very
you say
good
that.
point, K Dusty. You're making a very good point. In the United States, very few people, no matter race, whatever, very few people got their wealth through inheritance. Most millionaires, that's what we're talking about here, most millionaires and above
Our first generation.
made their money. They made it themselves, their first generation. A very large percentage of them are married. They started off with nothing. Okay. The average age of a millionaire in the United States, I want to say, is in their 50s. Interestingly enough, the average age of a Corvette owner is about 55. I think it is 55, nearing 60. And, I love Corvettes. But anyway, back on point. Yeah, the average age of a millionaire is in their 50s and married. So yeah, you're 100% correct, K Dusty. And this is what I mean earlier, Stat, with it's not the toxic friends. That's just the tip of the iceberg. It's the toxic dialogue itself. The black love dialogue. All of it. It's not a clubhouse thing. It's a black America thing. We got too much ignorance. We don't say, what does the data say about that? Because we think it's white and we don't trust it. We think that they're trying to, use the numbers against us and all that sort of stuff. It's not helping us. K Dusty is 100% correct. You grow into that with a guy. You don't walk into that with a guy. That's the truth.
And I feel like too, Mamiya, the dude respects the women more when you grew into that with him, brother. How you feel about that? Like when you grow into it with me, when you wiggle into it with me and seeing me at the worst parts and then all
Well,
have
that's
it all
where that's
together,
the
is it? That's the
yeah,
best
that's
fucking part.
yeah. That I
No,
mean,
no, no.
we saw that in TV.
PhD.
We saw that in TV with the Jeffersons. That's the whole story of the Jeffersons, man. George and Wheezy Jefferson. She was with him and he had nothing in Queens. And then they went to the deluxe apartment in the sky in Midtown Manhattan. That's it. That's what it is.
They
I,
moved on up, Mamiya. Moving
Yeah, they
on
I
moved
got
up.
to
on up.
I got
Yeah.
to
Moving on up.
That's the
Okay, but
story of a lot. That's the story of a lot of black families in America, wealthy families in America. But the problem is we hyper focus on the one athlete or entertainer that got on and left a black woman and that built him up in the dust instead of focusing on the LeBrons or the Denzels or anything else. And it's sad because it's just not true. And I think for a lot of this is the thing that really hurts me. It doesn't hurt me 'cause I only got one sister and she about to be married off. But the thing that really hurts me is that it's like for a lot of women, their best shot, and I don't mean this saying that they can't do it. I'm not saying it's not possible, but I'm saying it's more probable, especially these women that go to college and they're in professions and all this other stuff. Their best shot is to get a man who's one of their compatriots, one of their colleagues, one of their another student in the master's program or whatever school that they attended. That's their best shot at having the outcome of getting a wealthy man. Like you're you're also like I feel like a lot of times when women say, "Oh, I'm gonna wait to try to
man,
get a man
can
who's built up," I'm
I
like,
get in here, man?
You're also downplaying yourself because it's like you're not giving yourself the opportunity to be able to contribute to building up the man that you want. You have skills. Y'all are educated. Y'all have different networks and stuff. You could expand your network and all this different stuff. I'm like, yo, like y'all really like why don't y'all believe that you can be one of the reasons why your relationship turns out great, or one of the reasons why your man is motivated to be extremely successful, or one of the reasons why your family is going to end up being a pillar of your
All right,
community,
man.
or a force
All
to be reckoned
right.
with, or business. I
Damn.
don't get it.
All right, man. You done made your pitch, man. Can y'all stop trying to coerce these women to take brokies, man? Can y'all stop this? Nah, enough is enough. Okay? She says she makes seven figures. She want a seven-figure man. You don't make seven figures. It's okay. You gotta move on.
You believe
So
that? You really
let
believe that?
these women. I mean, I don't know. I don't know her. You know what I'm saying? But that's what she says. So I can't tell her that she don't. So if she makes seven figures and she want a seven-figure man, what's wrong with that? So look, it's like you coercing, you trying to heavily persuade these women. Take the brokey, please. Take the brokey. You better turn them into what you want to turn them into, please. Like, no,
Yeah,
no,
the
man.
problem with a PhD, I'll tell you what the problem with it is. The problem with it isn't the preference. The problem is it with it, like I said earlier, it's the provocative way in saying it. That's the problem. That's what everybody, or at least a lot of guys, are reacting to. It's not saying, well, this is my circle of people, and I do it. That's one thing. It was the very provocative name. I mean, she even said, "I don't care." I mean, okay, and she has a right to do it. It's a free country. I'm not saying she don't have the right to say it. I'm just simply explaining why the reaction was what it was.
That's not part of the. That's only part of the reaction because I was sitting here listening, man. She only stated what she desired. Her daddy, she got this from her daddy. See, when the women have a daddy, then y'all want to criticize them. Then it's like, damn. So she's saying, look, I want a man with this, and until I get it, I'm okay. So
And by the way, PhD, because you mentioned K Dusty, me and K Dusty were saying the same thing. In the United States, okay, with
um,
millionaires, here's the reality. The average millionaire is in their 50s. That's a fact. The average millionaire did not inherit their money. That's a fact. The average millionaire is first generation, meaning that they made their money on their own. That's a fact. And that the average millionaire is not only married right now, but have been for a long time. That's a fact. Okay?
I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm saying is it sounds like y'all are trying to dissuade a person from having their standards because y'all want them to date brokies, and I'm just wondering why that
Well, okay,
is.
so for the record, I think I can speak for K Dusty. He's here to speak for himself. I don't think K Dusty was trying to do that. I'm not certainly trying to do that. I don't think Stack was trying to do that. I'm willing to go on that limb. I don't think any of us three of us was attempting to cajole anybody into dating anybody. I was just laying out the facts.
No,
Yeah,
that's
I
what K
said
Dusty
date a
was doing.
man with. I said
That's
date a
what
man
K
with a
Dusty
part.
was doing.
No, I was not. I said
Yes, you
find a
did.
man
You
who's part.
said you
No, I
even
didn't.
went as far
I
as to
said
say you can use your skills to build a man how you want him to be. You know, this is the best. This is the best way. So
But I said
that's
nothing
come on,
about the
man.
man being broke. I
Hurt.
said find a man who. I said if you're a professional, you're educated. Find a man who's also professional and educated. The point I'm trying to make is that there are character traits of men that are highly correlated with success. Now, if you're too scared to take that association, you're too scared, and you're like, no, I want to see and touch the money, and I want him to be there first. Then that's a personal problem. What I'm saying is,
So they
for a lot of
scared
women,
now.
if they were to yes, they are scared. You don't hear it when they say, "Oh, well, I don't want to do that because then when he makes the money, yeah, we'll be comfortable, but then he's gonna leave me for a younger, hotter model, or he's gonna get on and leave me for a white girl, or he's gonna."
Mm.
That's fear. That's all fear. They're not saying I'm such a great woman that even if he built himself up to get all this money, he would love to take care of me, and he'd be more invested in me because he knows that I was there with him the entire time. They're not confident in themselves like that. It's fear. That's what we're hearing.
And most millionaires
Because
are
I don't know women that are like all the women that I know that are with men that are still built. And I'm talking about, like, they're not bums. These aren't broke guys. They're just making 60, 70, 80, but they're just starting out in their career. A lot of them, they're not looking at their man like he's less than. They're looking at him like, damn, in 10 years we're gonna be in great shape because my man's hardworking. He's disciplined. He's making relationships with the right people right now. He's dependable. He's reliable. Like, that's what they're looking at. They're not looking at, like, oh, in 10 years, once he finally makes a quarter million, he's gonna leave me and go find a younger model. They're like, no, we're gonna build this together, and I'm gonna make sure that I'm a part of this, so that when we get to a certain place, we just go into the next deeper step of our relationship. Like, that's what a healthy woman sounds like. I'm just being honest. Like, that's what a woman who's confident in herself and what she brings to a relationship. That's what that sounds like. She's not scared of a negative outcome like that. Like, there's no reason to be afraid. If you're so great and you trust your discernment in choosing a man, why are you scared? What's there to be afraid of? If your dad was there and he showed you the types of traits that you should look for in a man, and your dad was so great and he ended up making all this money, why would you be scared to pick a man that's like him? I don't. What's the reason? There's no rational reason for it.
I
Actually, there
don't
is a
understand your
I'm sorry.
question. I don't
I'm sorry.
understand your question.
I,
Listen, if you guys are just joining, y'all going crazy. Can a woman respect a broke man with a vision? Y'all are on the mirror. PhD's coming in finally. Nacho, welcome back. AK, thank you for hanging out with us. Wifey Amanda, thank you for being here. I know she's at work. Diego, I appreciate you. Amber, welcome back. Lalita Mamia, thank you for being here. Bag, Jody, Shia, Seven, Amira, Reddy, Raquel. Everybody on the stage, I appreciate y'all. Demi, you already know. Listen, let's continue this conversation so that way we can build this shit up, right? Who's coming in next? Let's respect the speakers. I know y'all gonna go crazy on the wall floor. There's gonna be some friendly fire. It's gonna be going crazy. Some people might catch a bullet, right? Y'all heard PhD going in, right? This is what the wall floor is about. Senorita, talk
Yes,
to me,
yes,
sister. Let's
yes,
go.
yes. Can a woman respect a broke man with a vision? Now, I said that I was going to behave, especially because my husband's home, but then I lied. I don't know who I promised that to, so I'm gonna say some stuff. Women already sleep with broke men. If you allow him to respect you with your body, why can't you respect the fact that he's broke? Thank you so much.
Whoa. And Senora always does that. She just drops the mic like that and just leaves it. Damn. Who's
Sexting ain't
coming in? Go ahead,
respect.
Bag. What up, man?
Sexting ain't respecting. Like women will sleep with men they don't respect. Right. So that's not like a, and it's not a substitution for respect. You know, some men accept it because nobody respects them anyway. So at least he gets some ass. But it ain't the same thing. Like you got women having kids by guys they don't respect and dating guys they don't respect, talking to them crazy, you know what I'm saying, putting them out the house and all kind of stuff. Like, yeah.
So, what does that say for the woman who just sleeps with anyone? What does that say about their standards? Hmm.
No, see, women. The funny thing is, a lot of women don't really have standards, right?
What? What
They
Bag?
just
What the
choose
fuck
I
you
would
just
agree.
not
Zach,
standards.
I would agree with
for
him.
real,
Getting with a
Senorita?
man like him,
Uh-oh.
I'm pretty sure they don't have
I'm just
standards.
saying they between the guys that are because they're waiting on guys to approach them, and if certain type of guys are constantly approaching them, they just figure, hey, let me pick the best one of the guys that's shooting their shot at me because women don't be shooting their shot. So it's like men have things we aiming at. Y'all just making yourself available and hoping somebody say something to you. And so if a certain type, if broke dudes are the only dudes saying something to her, even though she don't respect them, she gotta settle for what's trying to get her. So it's like if she was, it's like she not that type of bait that could pull a rich nigga. So she can't, hold out for that because no rich niggas are shooting their shot. So if the dudes at her job is if they ain't shooting they shot, like most women might work a little job. A lot of times they dating one of the niggas at the job because the niggas at the job shooting they shot. But if the ugly bitch at the office, nobody shooting they shot, then the niggas at the gas station the only niggas that's talking to her. So she gonna pick a dude up from the gas station.
And those are usually not the best choices from the gas station Bag.
Yeah, because she got to go to
At
the gas
all.
station every day,
At all.
and the niggas at the gas station will holler at everything. So you know that's it. That's who she ended up with.
Niggas at the gas station. Wow. Nacho. Dudes at the gas station. Isn't those the ones you're supposed to avoid? Well, I gotta go to my car. Time to go. Right? Like, what's going on? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what neighborhood that is.
This is
I
insane. I don't
let me.
understand.
Can a woman respect a broke man with vision? Hmm. Yeah, I think there's a certain kind of woman who doesn't mind playing Build a Bear with a man, right? And she can see his vision. She doesn't mind, pitching in. I'm kind of like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll help you with your vision. Um, yeah, I definitely can respect that. I might even respect that more than a dude who has the money but no direction and no vision, right? Because I can work with vision. I can't work with if you don't have vision. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think a woman can definitely respect a broke man with a vision. But I think she has to be a visionary herself. But if she's not a visionary, then she wants to see it. She's like J.G. Wentworth, honey. She needs it now. What are you gonna say?
I feel like you said that. I feel like you said something important right there. Not just like if you're not a visionary, then you're not going. It's why you're not going to see a vision at the end of the day. I feel like it
Yeah, I
takes
agree
people
with
to
that.
have
I just want to
visions.
add something real quick because, like, I agree with what she just said, and I feel like there are men out there that have a vision, like in maybe 5, 10 years they'll actually be like something. But I feel like those men aren't gonna be the ones like begging you to like be with them. I feel like that actually be harder to be with those men who actually are gonna be somewhere in the next 5 to 10 years. I feel like the men that are begging to be with like women who have more money than them, they probably aren't like the ones that are actually locked in, like focused. But I don't know. It's just my opinion.
Nah, Raquel, I feel where you coming from. So you're saying that it's going to be harder for a woman to get a man's attention after he's like, I got choices, I can do that, right? You think it's more important to hold him down? And if you see the vision, talk to me, Raquel. I want to hear your opinion. What's up?
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of those men, like, they're not gonna even look in a woman's direction unless like she's an asset to them or there's something about her that really like stands out. Because I feel like they're gonna be so focused and like locked in on their vision and actually working toward it. Because I feel like, I mean, everyone can have a vision, but like some men are actually putting the work in behind it. There's a difference. Like it's very rare to like certain men like even Bill Gates. I mean, I know his wife like helped him with his startup like a long time ago. They're divorced now, but she still gets some of his assets and things like that because she was there with him from the jump. And there's like a lot of examples of that. But like, yeah, it's not every man though. I'm sorry.
For instance, Stack, my first spouse, right? We were rocking pretty young. So I remember when he was broke, I used to fly out to Atlanta to go to his homecoming at Morehouse. And honey, he was riding in the Gray Ghost, and that thing literally, you had to have the heater on just for the engine to not overheat. So we'd be in Atlanta, in the summer with the windows down and the heat on. That's how broke he was, right? But he had a vision.
What? What? Yo,
You know what I'm
Nacho.
saying? He was,
I'm crying.
BROKE, for real, for real. Like Baroque, honey. He used to wear the Jesus sandals with socks. That's how broke he was.
He
Right?
had
And he
Jesus
had a,
Nacho,
sandals on, Nacho.
yes.
Nacho. And guess what? You still got in that car.
I did, honey. I'm
You
trying
was,
to
you was like, I
say with
love them
him,
sandals.
I did. Well, I had to get him about them sandals, but he had a vision for himself. He knew he was going to graduate and go into the military and be an officer, right? So, but there was a point where bro was dead broke, and I was used to men who could fly me around and do whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I had to buy into his vision with him. And then eventually, he did. I think he's like a major now. So he turned that broke page, but he did. He had a vision. And so I think that's what a lot of these people are talking about, especially that room you had the other day. Like, are you just there for what happens in the end? Or are you ready for the ride? You know what I'm saying? And so that's what it really looks like when these men are saying, hey, you got to hook up with that guy in college. Most college dudes are broke,
As
right?
fuck.
Yeah, but dead broke, like ramen noodle, cup of noodle, even broke. So, you gotta like buy in if you really want, and there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee if you lock horns with him while he's broke,
So
he's
you're
not gonna
saying you
get on
got to be
top.
lucky, Nacho. It's like rolling the dice. That's what you're saying,
I
sister?
don't
Or
know if
you just
it's
like rolling the...
luck so much as well, I suppose, right? Because luck isn't a gambling, because it's a gamble. You might lock in with him while he's broke, and then once he gets to the top, he turn his butt up in your face. So you just have to be able to roll with the punches. But yeah, like I said, if you're a visionary,
Um,
then I think you can see his vision with him. But if you're not, then you want that man coming out of the package ready to roll. Go ahead, sis.
I will say, yeah, I definitely agree with you, Nacho. And in the fact that, like, I had to think about it for a while, a long time ago, whatever, being around new friends and things like that. And I can understand why some people, like, would say that they want the man to already have money, even in college, I guess. Because a lot of times when you don't have, like, you have an impoverished mindset, or you come from that, or you don't have the certain things, you can't afford to have vision. You have to have some type of money to have a roof over your head, to have food on your table. I find that a lot of people who are, it's like, they're not the first gen going to college, they're not the first people to do certain things. Like, they do have, like, a outlook where, like, the vision is there already. Like, it's even sometimes, like, put into their heads by their parents. Like, they're told they have to go to college. They're not even told that. It's an expectation to do that. It doesn't even have to be said. It's done. Then it's like the vision is like, okay, everyone in the family's medical, so you're gonna have to be medical. Like it's already like a reputation of this is what's done, this is what's expected, this is what you have to do. And so the man that you end up dating or marrying, or the man that you end up, or woman that you end up being with, like it comes from the same, you know, background. Like they had, like it's like a thing for, especially specifically even my family, cousins, whatever. But like that experience was like, I didn't like that. I'll be honest with you. Like for me personally, it was draining because I ended up having friends that were not from that, and when I talked to them, it was like their vision was different. Like they had to have a rich man, they had to have this. They If they didn't have this, then they were less than, and it's not cool, and it's not this. But like I had to understand where that mindset comes from, because as many people who would rather have the $2,000 in hand than have the 10 weeks of a class and be able to make six figures regularly, there was a lot of people when that example happened, and a man gave people an opportunity on Clubhouse to do that. Everybody wanted $2,000 in their hand. They didn't want the 10 weeks of a class to be able to make six figures, you know, for the rest of whatever life. So like I could see how that works, because a lot of people who say they want a rich man now, at 30, I could see that would make sense. But like even when you're younger, I want a rich man. I want a rich man. But like a lot of people don't even know what comes along with that. What, you know, your duties are, what you're going to be expected to do. So I can understand when people say, "Oh, I have to have a rich man," because vision. A lot of people couldn't afford to have the vision. So.
Is he like just chronically broke, or did he go through a patch? Like,
Chronically
let's say,
broke is crazy.
I'm,
Take it any way you
hold on.
want, Leah. You can take it any way
I
you want. Go ahead.
I personally couldn't deal with a broke man if he didn't have. I couldn't respect a broke man. If he didn't had, like, let's say, when I say chronically broke is why I asked a question. All right, he ain't never ever been up. Like he always work, you know, paycheck to paycheck, hand to mouth, from woman to woman house, like that type. Or he might be have a roommate but he's okay with, you know, let's say making 40, 50,000 a year. He's okay right there. And okay, he dream of all these great grandiose things, but he never put no application in. He don't apply himself in any way to realistically achieve this vision. But he got a vision though, you know, but there's no tangible behind it. Like that's why I ask him. But if we talking about somebody that you know had a record of achieving certain things in life and maybe lost it, and he's in between trying to figure out how to get it back, you know, or we could look and see, all right, he got a blueprint and it's been something that he been working on actively, but he just haven't gotten it. Like that guy, I could rock with it. I could respect that vision. But the dreamer that never had nothing in place and never achieved nothing in the past, like I can't be. I ain't got time for that, because
So Leah, if he ain't never had no wins, you can't even see yourself
yeah,
moving
like
with
you ain't
that
got
vision.
no
Then
wins.
fuck him.
I can fuck with you if you're going through your losing season, because I know it's an up and down in life. If I've seen, let's say you've had a business before, you had a great job before, all the different things, and you maybe lost it, and you just got you know you trying to get back to it. I could even invest in it. But if I don't see a track record of you ever doing it, I don't know. It might be wishful thinking, especially if you in your late 30s,
Wishful
early
thinking.
40s. I don't know if I could do that, but yeah, nah, I gotta see a track
hmm
record, and you just going through a phase
That's the
right
I'm
fact.
now.
sorry.
I seen my sister.
But let me
That
ask
Go
let me
tickled
ask
ahead.
y'all
Go
a
ahead.
question. Like,
No, no,
chronically
Stack,
broke.
tell
All
the
right,
there
girl,
are
tell
all
the
right.
things.
I
girl.
got you. I got you.
But listen, that tickled me when you said chronically broke. We already know there's gonna be ups and downs. Life is gonna life. But if you ain't ever had a win, ever, ever, you ain't ever. Yeah, that ain't for me. I did the broke, dated a broke guy one time. It was 0 stars. But I've also dated somebody before that literally our happiest moments is when we was both just trying to figure it out together. So we gonna win over here. I ain't into that.
Y'all know the biggest
That's
wins is
a good
private,
point.
right? The biggest wins is private. Like this. Some of these conversations they kill me because I'm like, yo, like, there's a lot of women who passed up on me in my early to mid 20s because I had a roommate. Mind you, my roommate was another black man in corporate banking making six figures. I'm in tech. I was making six figures. We had a beautiful apartment. We each had our own bathroom. If a girl came over, she didn't even have to see him. That's how big our shit was. But a lot of them were like, "Oh, you a roommate? I thought you was a perfect. You got a roommate, this, that, third." And it's like the biggest win. This is why I say the biggest wins are things that are silent. There's my best friend from college. He's my brother. When I get married, he's gonna be standing next to me. the the reason why we started living together wasn't because neither of us could afford to live on our own. It wasn't because of that. It was because I was living closer to the city. He was commuting a long way to the city. I said, bro, let's just get the 2 bedroom in this community, and then that way we'll both be saving money when we instead of both of us paying $2,000 a month for rent, we'll pay 1,100 each, and then put that other $900 to paying. He had student loans still. So guess what? So now you have two black men who are under 30. We lived together for 5 years, and then we paid off all of our debt, and he paid off his car. I paid off my car. I paid off a piece of real estate or whatever, and now you have two black men under 30 that now we live separately. I got my own spot, he got his own spot, and because we were roommates, we were able to be debt free, save probably, six figure
Okay,
net
you're
worth,
not what we're
all this other
talking
shit.
about though.
So
But that's not what
no,
we're
but it
talking
is
about.
because wait, hold on, but it is you, and you want to know why?
No,
Because
it's not.
a lot of the women that wait, no, but it is because, and the reason I was saying this is because a lot of those wins, a lot of the things that y'all are saying about record don't necessarily look like the way that they would look like on the outside. I'm still driving the first car I ever bought, a
You are no, no,
2017
no.
Honda
Okay,
Civic.
Kate, stop. Let
I
me
could put
stop
all
you.
that
No,
on
no,
my
no. Let me
mama.
stop you
Wait,
right
wait,
there.
hold
Let
on,
me
hold on.
stop you right there.
He about to start
Let me stop you
crying.
right there. You're not. I'm not talking about that. Those are wins that if I'm your girlfriend, I'll know about them because we are
Yes,
talking about
if you're my
actually planning
girlfriend,
a life. Hold on, hold
exactly.
on,
That's
hold
the
on, hold on,
point.
hold on. When we say,
Yeah.
hold on, you're creating. Wait, wait. You're creating a point and arguing something that I did not submit, especially when I said the roommate situation. What you're describing is it makes sense. It's smart. It's deliberate, right? What I described from what I've witnessed, especially in New York City, a few times that I've seen, I'm talking about wins that even as your girlfriend, it never came up. Yes, you could have, if I come to your house and you have a roommate like you just described, and that apartment is so put together and so dope that, yeah, I don't even see the roommate, and you say, hey, babe, this is what I'm doing. Number one, I already know what job you're doing. I know what career you're in, so I have an idea of what kind of money you're making. If we are together, we're having these conversations, I understand your plan, right? It's already articulated. You already executing. You're paying debt off. You're doing all these things. That is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the people that gotta have a roommate because they can't help their situation. So you having a roommate don't automatically disqualify you. We got to put context to it. And that's why I said the person that you cannot look at the wins. And when I said the wins, it's not like it got to be broadcast on social media or, oh, he driving a Benz or he doing it. No, no, no. The wins is paying the debt off. The wins is merging. Now you got two black men under the roof making over 200,000 together, and both of them doing what they got to do for the future. That is win and track record. That is stuff that you can actually track. That's not what we're, at least what I said, what we're talking about. I'm talking about the people that cannot do that, and even with a roommate can't even pay off his debt because he don't even make that amount of money. With a roommate, his credit score is still about 120. Like that's what I'm talking about. Not because you have a
120
roommate
is
mean
crazy.
you ain't qualified. You feel me? Like
Come
that's not what
on,
we're talking
Leah.
about.
Can I
Hey,
run
no, no,
something by
hey,
you?
we ain't running nothing. We about to run to support Lady O. We done wrapped it up. Leah, you done went crazy. PSD, I appreciate you. Nacho, you know what it is. We're gonna be back in the Gender Wars real soon. We got like episode 6. Don't be rolling your eyes at me
Damn, I
because
don't
I'm
even go
leaving.
over there.
Yeah,
Damn.
Leah, why
Wait,
we ain't
Lady O got is Lady O opening a room under her house?
I thought it was gonna be under Lady O's room. You feel me, Leah? I'm like, damn, I thought you were gonna do it under your room. Why we ain't going to Lady O's room? But
Right.
IRL and Senora want me to pass traffic over to this house right here. So if you guys can go over there, I appreciate it because she helped me build this shit up. You heard me? IRL and the ladies and y'all, Nacho, PhD, right?
Who want to go over there? We was enjoying this room.
Oh, y'all like that? Y'all want to stay here?
Why don't
Y'all
you
want
go over there?
Yeah,
You
y'all
got
want to
go
mods.
over
stay
You
here?
there.
got
Oh
other mods
shit!
in the room that can
Oh,
run the space.
hold on, y'all want to stay here?
Yeah. Like
Yo,
what? Now Lady O's my girl. If it was Lady O house, I'd definitely go over there and support my girl. But
Leah,
certain rooms I don't go in.
PhD. They said fuck that. They said we ain't going over there. Yo, PhD. They said
You
I'm
know,
straight.
we gotta get the pretty ladies what they want. You feel me?
Ah, fuck. Yeah, Leah.
Yeah, I just got
Leah,
here. I'm like, what
fuck.
the fuck? Why y'all leaving?
Yeah.
I didn't
Right,
even get
like
to
fuck that.
Yeah.
We need to get a chance to
What
get
is
out
Shia,
wrong?
here.
mission.
Where
Shit,
you
what the fuck
going?
wanna go
Yeah.
over there?
Shia, so y'all
I didn't
want
even get
to
to
No,
kick
because
it.
if I go over there,
put
I
a
gotta
one
stay
in
in the
the
goo. I
chat if
can't
y'all
go
want
up
to
on
stay
there.
in
I
here.
can't, you know.
Put a one in the chat if y'all want to stay in
We trying to conversate.
here. Yo, put a one in the chat if y'all want to stay here. Let me see who's active in here. Put a two in the chat if y'all want to move. Because I can't force nobody to move. Because I'm about to go on the call. Y'all could run the muck in this motherfucker if y'all want. I'm about to leave it to y'all. Put a one in the chat if y'all staying here, bro. Damn, all y'all want to stay here is
We
nuts.
at the church. We ain't going nowhere.
Yo, I'm not. I'm not.
We at the church. We ain't going
Okay, I
nowhere.
got to give the people what they want. So,
And it's a dope
damn.
conversation, Stack. It's a dope
Leah,
conversation.
go ahead,
Now I
Leah.
said it's
Go
a
ahead,
dope
yo.
conversation. Like this is, I like this conversation. Where you be getting this shit from, dude? But K Dusty, you see what I was saying? Like, it's never gonna just be, oh, he got a roommate, oh, he's still in college, or it's never gonna be that. It's just they just gotta have a track record and an execution. You feel me? Like I just need to see execution. All right, you might maybe making 70,000 a year, but guess what? You debt free because that 70,000. You very smart with how you have it, and you smart with where you put it. You smart with how you move. Your bills and all that stuff. That's a track record of planning for the future. So that I could rock with. But I'm telling you, they out here, Kay. They out here.
Yeah, and I just wanted to
Yeah,
say something quick.
I agree. I just think a lot of people judge prematurely. I don't think a lot of guys that are moving that way are getting that amount of grace. But
Yeah, and I just want to make a correction because I think earlier I said Bill Gates, his wife, helped him with startup. That's actually not true. I don't. She actually didn't help him build Microsoft. But there is a guy that was watching on Shannon Sharp's podcast. I think his name is Dave. Let me see, Portnoy. I'm not familiar with sports, but he was the founder of this platform called Barstool, it's like a media company. He's worth like 135 million now, but his wife, when he had nothing, like she helped him build that company, and now like he said on the podcast like she has access to all my accounts still, and Shannon Sharp was like, "What the fuck? Like, what are you talking about, man?" And he was like, "Yeah, like that woman has all access to all my accounts because even though we're not together anymore, like she was there when I had nothing. Like she was there when I built that company up. So like she gets everything like for the rest of my life." And I was like, "Damn, like that's crazy." But I mean, it made sense, and he seemed like really at peace with that choice. And I was like, "Wow, like I mean, she helped him build up his company, so I'm like, I don't see why not, you know."
that's called integrity.
Yo, y'all are loyal as fuck, bro. Y'all see me over here trying to hold my sister Senora down in Lady O, right? I got the room right here. Y'all said no. Y'all said fuck no, no. Yeah, I see y'all. I see you. I see the loyalty. Leah, what we doing?
I don't like give up home court advantage.
Listen, I said earlier, can a woman respect a broke man with vision? I said, fucks no. If you broke with nothing going on, she's not gonna respect you at all. I don't care what you got. If you can't do basic shit and provide for her basically on a basic level, no, it's a wrap. So I said, no, there's not gonna be any respect going down in the relationship if you're broke. But if you got a vision, that's cool. It sounds good. Cause talk is cheap. I feel like talk is cheap nowadays. A lot of people talking about what they can do and which they woulda, coulda, shoulda did and
Talk
shit.
is cheap.
But if you ain't really making it, yeah, if you ain't really making the shit happen or working to, if I don't see the shit, like how Leah was saying earlier, if you ain't got a track record of winning, I'm not gonna believe you when you lose. Let me say that shit again,
Mm,
Leah. Hold up, Leah. If you got a track record of winning, right? You got a track record of winning. When you lose, I'm gonna fucking believe you. Like, all right, cool. It's only a down season for you. It's okay. You'll come back up. It's
right.
okay. It's all right.
Now
You feel me? But too
let's
many of y'all be closing the door on blessings because some of y'all people be down, but then y'all leave them when they out, when they down, and then when they come back up, you're fucked. So what's going on?
let's talk about it in a practical manner too, right? Like, so earlier y'all were talking about college students, and that's a big thing for me. Is a lot of our people, a lot of Black people don't get married in college, but a lot of other ethnicities do in America. They find their spouses in college, like they find their degrees, their careers, their internships, and their husbands and their wives. I don't know why we can't do that, but anyway, how can you tell in college when both of y'all are broke that that person's going to make money? Okay, first of all this stuff is Googleable. Look at what degree they're in. if the guy that you're talking to is a history major, you might want to reconsider that fucking relationship. You might be like, why are you a history major? I once met a guy when I was in boot camp. Mind you, boot camp is a place that people come when they're in a transitionary period in their life. So I met people with like bachelor's and master's in boot camp. I was like, why the fuck are you here? If you got a bachelor's degree and a master's degree, why are you here? This man told me he was a I don't know if it's called a paleontologist or whatever the fuck, but it's the people who be digging up artifacts, right? I grew up thinking that's a nice ass job. You freaking discovering shit, museums buy artifacts. I'm like, woo woo. I said, how you don't got no money? He said, oh, nah, that job does not pay well. I said, what? He said,
What?
yeah,
So
right,
what was you saying?
right.
What was your pushback on them? Let's talk about
Well, so I was like, what do you mean by that? This is an Asian man, by the way,
it.
young, short, Asian guy. He's like, oh yeah. I was like, oh, I thought you seem smart. Like, what the fuck are you doing here? And that's how we all was feeling, right? We was all in boot camp, like, oh, you seem smart, motherfucker. Why are you here? And same thing they was asking me, like, you seem smart. Why are you here? And he was just like, yeah, I was a paleontologist. Like, I have that's my degree. I have a bachelor's in paleontology or whatever the fuck it is. And I was like, well, what do they pay? He's like 16 an hour. I was like, yo, what the fuck? I was like, so you mean to tell me you went and got student loan debt, did all that studying, you gotta know math, science, and shit to be able to exhume freaking fossils, to exhume fossils from the earth, and you get paid 16 an hour? He's like, yeah. He said, and there's not really much upward mobility unless you decide to become a professor. I said, oh, it's one of those type of jobs. He's like, yeah. I said, that's freaking crazy. He said, yeah, so I didn't want to do it anymore. This man's a trained violinist. Rich people shit, like a paleontologist, trained violinist, all of this shit, couldn't make no bread with what he knew.
Archaeologist.
Thank you. I was trying to figure out what the fuck. Thank you. It's archaeology. I forget what paleo is. Archaeology. He's an archaeologist. And I was like, yo, how you not making money with that? That sounds like, on paper, from what I've seen watching Discovery Channel and shit growing up, that seems like a bomb diggity job. But no, so my number one thing would be look at the fucking stats of what that fucking job does. There are people out here studying entire jobs and not knowing because they're 18 years old, right? I mean, your prefrontal cortex is not fully developed. So when someone's asking you, what do you want to be when you grow up? And you're like, I want to be an astronaut. You're not realizing that you're going to get stuck in fucking space for 9 months like those other two just did this past year. Okay. When you're 5 years old, 10 years old, 16, 18 years old, making major life decisions, you're not thinking about, is my job going to be ruined by AI? How the fuck would you know that growing up in the 1990s? I want to be a this, and then your freaking job doesn't exist anymore because they invented some new shit. So that's number one. Number two is how dedicated are they to their classes? Are they fucking partying every night? Are they a 1.0 GPA, like about to be kicked out of school?
it.
Like are they
Mm-hmm.
going to class on time? Like if you hanging out with them, y'all dating, like I think young people should just chill out. I think young people should just have a good ass time. I don't really think young people need to be married, but that's neither here nor there. Fine, say you are of that mindset, like, yeah, I'm in here, I'm studying, but I want to find my husband, I want to find my wife. Okay, you meet some guy or you meet some girl, say they're going to nursing school. Okay, so they're on the bio track. They start out in bio, then they switch to nursing. Are they taking their bio seriously? Do you trust them as a nurse? Like if you
Yo, I
have
feel
to,
you. That's a
if you
fact.
right, Stack, like if you have to double think like whether or not you would whether or not you would admit your family to their hospital, that's probably not somebody you need to be fucking with. Because let me tell you something, if that job doesn't work out, they're not going to be able to bounce back. They don't have no flexibility, they're not hardworking, they're not disciplined. Now they might become that later on in life after they done got kicked in the ass a few times, but do you really want to go through that with somebody? Or like say somebody's a lawyer, right? There's lawyers out there that don't make any fucking money. There's lawyers out there that practice all different types of law, and they pick one particular type of law to practice. Or there are doctors who, I didn't even know this until a few years ago, that in order to get to your residency or to your fellowship, you have to be invited. You don't just get to become an anesthesiologist because you said that's what you want to do. No, somebody has to decide that they actually fuck with you heavy and that they believe that you could actually achieve that and hire you to even do your residency and your fellowship. So now, with all that being said, if you're dating somebody and it's like, oh, bet this person's about to be a da 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 da, like Nacho said, her man was gonna be an officer. That's guaranteed shit. That's fucking guaranteed money, baby. There is no way around that. You got your degree and you know every fucking thing. And you getting bread. And guess what? You get a pension. Do you know how many jobs pay a pension?
So,
None.
Q Black wife,
No
yo, Q
jobs.
Black, I got a question for you. I'm gonna reset. Ping the room up, share the room up. I got a question for all y'all. But Q Black wife, since we're on you, I want to go to you. Do successful women intimidate men, or is that an excuse? I want to know. Ping it up, share it
Mm,
up. Because
I
we ain't
got an
going
I
answer.
nowhere. Y'all
like
said
that
y'all wanted
You
to
question.
got a
stay.
question, I
Hold
got an
on.
answer.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Y'all said y'all wanted to stay in here. Y'all didn't want to leave. I tried to pass the traffic to Lady O. Y'all said y'all didn't want to leave. Y'all yelled at me and said y'all want to fucking stay in here. And you seen me try to do this. Y'all said y'all want to stay, right? Ping it up and share the room up. Join Gender Wars if you have a pink ticket. Join Media Mentors so that way when I have a business topic, you'll be right there to learn as well. Because I don't just do these topics, I actually help people out in real life. So this is good. Nice topic. Ping it up. Do successful women intimidate men, or is that an excuse? I'm going to cute black housewife, and then I'm passing this shit around. Over to you, and then popcorn style. Let's
May I
go.
speak after Q Black?
Yep, let's go.
All right, so boom. Do successful women intimidate men? It depends. And I hate to give that wishy-washy ass answer. It depends on a lot of things. Well, the number one thing is, let's talk about people who are secure first. Because I really feel like a lot of times we focus the conversation on people who are not doing what the fuck they're supposed to do. And then we circle jerk the whole shit. No, let's talk about everybody who's doing everything right. Let's pretend we live in a magical world that doesn't exist where everybody does everything they're supposed to do. Great. So let's say a man who's successful in his own right, very secure in himself, two-parent household, no problems with his mama, no baby mama drama, respects women in general, respects people in general, tips the waiter, opens the door, all that shit. He meets a bad bitch. CEO entrepreneur born in 1964, Jeffrey Bezos, his wife is a fucking billionaire in her own right. Okay. So say he meets Jeffrey Bezos's wife. Okay, his ex-wife. All right, he comes across her, boom, boom, boom. She already got her billions, boom, boom, boom. She helped build her husband's company, boom, boom, boom. That type of woman comes with a very different mentality. And that mentality can go one or two ways, the masculine way or the feminine way. Now, I'm making this binary to make it simple. All right, this is not simple. There's areas of gray, but I'm making it black and white to make it simple. So, a woman who made her money helping her husband, or helping her father or helping her sister, basically being a helper, is going to move differently from a woman who made it all by herself. A woman who has a lot of money because she inherited it through her family, or because she's a trust fund baby, or any of those other number of things, she just kind of fell into money, is going to move totally differently than from a woman who has built some shit from the ground fucking up, brick by boring brick. So, the first of all, the woman who made money by helping, she's already having that mentality of she's okay being number two. She knows being number two is actually being number one. She knows that by playing the position of number two, she gets everything the fuck she wants, right? Because that has been proven to her through her good behavior, or quote unquote good behavior, but through her actually producing people who are successful. She is a producer of success. She is successful in her own right, don't get me wrong, but people will take that away from her because they'll be like, oh, your name's not on the company, your name's not on the this, your name's not on that. Yeah, her name's not on to that, but guess what? She reaping and sowing. I'm gonna give you a perfect example. The lady who helped Kim Kardashian build Skims. Do y'all know that that's a black woman? The lady who helped Kim Kardashian build Skims and Khloe Kardashian build all her brands,
Yeah, she's a
that's a black
biracial
woman. Yeah.
from the
So with
UK.
so with that being said, right, there are some people out here who really want their name in shining neon lights, but nobody knows who the fuck this woman is because she keeps it low key. And there are people out there who will literally pay you to just sit back, relax, and help them build some shit, and they will take care of you for the rest of your life. That type of woman is going to have a very easy time dating a man, even though she's successful. Now let's talk about a woman who's built the shit from brick by boring brick. Okay, maybe Maybe she wasn't a single mom, maybe she was. Maybe she went through some struggle in her life. That type of woman comes with very strong boundaries because she had people play with her. Don't fucking play with me and my money. She done had people play on her head top. Perfect example. My stepmother, master's degree in what do you call it? Early childhood development. Director of a daycare. Met my father in her 50s. They were both in her 50s. More successful than my father. Better credit score, better bank account, pastor of a church, big bank, take little bank. She had a very hard time learning how to submit to my father and their very religiosity relationship because she honestly kind of had a right to. And what I mean by that is that she had all of the money. The person with the money makes the decisions. That is capitalism.
Oh,
Hold on,
Sean,
hold
for
on.
Sean,
And I'm
come
gonna
in.
land it here. I'm gonna
Oh
land it
my
here.
God!
I'm gonna land it here.
Please, let's for Sean. You put an X up. What you talking about, my brother? Come through. I need for Sean to come through, man. He think he's slick. He think he
For
can
sure,
just
Polly
hide and
boys.
yeah, he been
Polly
Let
hiding. Yeah, come
let
on,
her
for
finish
Sean.
boys.
that.
Pop
Let
the
her
fuck
finish
out,
that
man.
though. Let her tie
I'm
this
gonna
bow.
tie the
Let her
Yeah,
bow,
finish
pop
but
that.
I
out,
know
for
he
Sean.
about
What we
to.
doing,
I know he
man?
about to
Let's
push
go.
back on me
For Sean, pop the
I,
fuck
because I
I,
out,
know what's
man.
about to
Please.
go on.
I want to hear how she
Shout out
gonna
to
tie
Real
that
One for
bow.
coming through too. Real One, shout
How,
out to you.
Oh, what I mean by
how
have
you
a
gonna
right
tie
Hey,
that
to.
you.
bow off?
I know.
How you
As soon
gonna
as I
tie
said,
that
I
bow
know
off?
what it was for him. As soon as I said she have a right to, let me
Yeah,
tell
for
you, in the
Sean put
world
the
of
big ass red
capitalism,
X. I ain't seen him active all room. You put the big X. I gotta go to my brother for Sean. For Sean, what's good, bro?
Man,
oh my
peace to the
God.
gods, man. What's happening? Hey, Cuba like housewife is the one that gave us the title Polly Boys. That's where it come from. But so that's my sister, man. I fuck with her, but she on some crazy shit with
Oh
this. I ain't
my
never heard her.
God.
I ain't never heard this shit before. So whoever she had the right to because she made the money. That's fucking crazy. Like because that has no credence because as soon as we say that whoever has the money get to make the decisions, that takes away morality from it at all times. It means the power position can change at any time, and that takes away for some of the other human aspect of relationship, and it completely removes romance. Right? It puts us in
Now he
complete.
being romantic on me.
No, no, it ain't romantic. It removes romance. Like our relationship, our attractive relationship is based on romance. Saying that puts us completely in a power play. And if you're saying a woman gets the right to treat a man poorly because she makes more money than him, then she's
This
removed.
is no, you gonna put the words in my
She
mouth. I didn't
no
say none of
that
that
no,
shit. I didn't say
that's what.
anything. I,
But that's what it alluded
that's
to.
how you
That's what it.
received what I said, but you
No,
didn't let me
I
finish the
didn't.
bow.
I did. I said put the bow on it because, but I'm talking about what you said before. You talked about how your mom was able to treat your father because she made more. That means she was allowed to treat him anything outside of respectful or beautiful or romantic because she makes more money. Those are the ways that we treat each other,
Let me
right? We either treat
let
each
me
other
finish
like
the
that
bow.
or we treat them bad. All right, go ahead. I'm
All
listening.
right, we're gonna layer the cake real quick. I'm in the kitchen in my PTR and in real life. All right, so boom, I gave you the good shit. The person who's doing all the right things. I prefaced it by saying that in the first thing. Now I'm in the other half. The person who, the antithesis of that. Okay, this is an anti. So this successful woman has struggled, had to fight her inner demons, overcome a bunch of shit, and make it in this capitalist society. Do you know how that woman made it in the capitalist society? By becoming more masculine. Because capitalism and patriarchy, at least in America, right, rewards the person who makes the most money and the person who is the most dominant. In fact, there is oftentimes, in my opinion, this is anecdotal, this is not a fact. In my anecdotal ass opinion, the person who is the most authoritative ends up getting the authority. Crazy, right? I'm gonna give you another example. It has nothing to do with my personal life because my stepmother ended up later on relinquishing that power to my father. In Jesus' name, amen. And it took some time, though. It took some time. She's 50 years old. But I'm gonna give you another example. The Theranos chick, Miss Theranos herself, convinced everybody that she knew how to fucking test your blood by getting a little pinprick of blood. She had millionaires, billionaires, some of the smartest brains, some of the richest people in this freaking country investing in her shit. And she didn't make a damn thing. She was she was the new pyramid scheme. She was out here scrimping and scamming. Even to the day that she was trying to stay out of jail, she went and got pregnant twice just so she could stay out of prison, bitch. Like,
Yeah. So
so
what you?
so what I'm saying is, and I'm gonna end it here. What I'm saying is that a woman who makes her money like that by pretending to be masculine, deepening her voice and talking like this, putting on fucking turtlenecks and shit to look like Steve Jobs, that type of woman is given an idea that she should have the authority. And the capitalist society we live in says that that's correct.
Yeah. So what's happening is that we're conflating the idea of how a person's psychopathy or their identity crisis works and what should be
No, we're not
happening.
conflating, but I
And
knew
what
you
I
was gonna say that.
no, no, but you are, because you're talking about like how she thinks. I'm saying that the thought process is wrong and it
And
doesn't matter
and
about
you and
money.
I
So
agree. You and I agree because
so
remember I
the
said
but the
she's the
whole
anti.
even in capitalism, a romantic relationship is not capitalism. But that's a large problem that men understand and women don't, right? Because women live so capitalistically in their ideology, they think that the money is the reason that the man gets his power in the relationship, and thereby that way she thinks if she has the money she now has the power. It also shows that she inadvertently accepts the fact that her submission comes by way of purchase, which makes her for sale, right? And when her submission is attached to her sex, which it usually is, she has now positioned herself as a prostitute. And this
See,
is
I knew
why
you was gonna bring it there. I
why
knew you was gonna bring it there for
that's
Sean.
why most women struggle in relationship, because the answer to this question is, do successful women intimidate men? Oh no, I thought it was another title. Okay, but he didn't change it. But the previous the
I'm sorry.
the the previous one said something about, can she love a broke man or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that
that
was the
was the
one
Oh,
before that
previous.
for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
the
was the
one, the
a
broke
previous
man
one.
one.
wife
Yep, yep.
a wife and both of these go together actually, but because Noah, a successful woman is not intimidating. Women confuse that too, Stat. Women think that that's intimidating a man because men are not choosing that. It's just unfucking attractive, the characteristics that come with a woman that has this perceived success. And back to the previous point I was making, women struggle with the fact that they think that money dictates position, but a wife understands, and you know this, cute black
I
housewife,
definitely do.
you know that the title dictates position and respect. Money or no money, if you chose him to be the leader and you're choosing to follow him, he is in fact the leader. As a matter of fact, as a co-founder of two tech startups, understanding how fundraising and capitalism, investment, venture capitalists work, you don't have to have all the money to be the one in control, right? And this is where women struggle. Women struggle because they think if the man got the money, that makes him a good leader, and she has to do what he say, right? Or she got to figure out a way not to do what he say. Or if she make more money, it's no way that she can submit to him. That's a psychological disruption in her cognitive disability. That's
See,
just
you and I
that's
are
just a her
talking about
problem.
two different things, but we are in agreement. You're talking
I
about
don't
the
know.
way
You
that
said your mama could treat your daddy bad because she had the money.
that ain't what I said, and that's why I
What you
disagree.
said? What you said?
What I said was that we talked about the person who's doing the right thing, the person who got it via a submissive channel.
No, no.
No, no,
What
no,
you
no.
said
Let me
about your
finish. No,
mama?
let me sit. I didn't. First of all, that's where you're wrong. I wasn't talking about my mom. I said my stepmother. Let's be
That's
clear.
your mama.
That's not my mother. I have a mother, and my mother is a
That's
lesbian,
your
and she does not date
stepmama.
men.
For sure.
That's my stepmama. That is not my mother. Let's be clear. Let's be
I
very
agree.
clear.
That's your stepmama.
Let's be
She a
very clear.
mama though. She a
She
mama
is.
though.
I always love my
Listen, y'all
mama.
are
Yeah,
crazy,
she's my
bro.
baby girl. Listen, I just don't want us to make mountains out of molehills and major and minors. See what I'm saying? So I agree with you. We are in agreement. However, what we do disagree on, the point we do disagree on is this. Who makes the money does make the decisions. I'm not saying
Uh
that's the way it's
oh.
supposed to be. I'm saying that's the way that it
All right, all
is.
right, all
Oh,
right,
that's
I'm
the
saying
way
that's the
to
way that it is.
Leah,
Listen, I was
Leah,
listening.
Leah, jump
I was
in, bro.
yeah.
Leah, how
I
you
was
feel about this,
listening
Leah?
and I was listening what she was saying and I was in the car. The car was in drive. It was cruising down Biscayne and wind blowing in the hair. I was with her. But
Oh
when
my
she said
God. Oh my
when she
God.
said because when she said that her stepmother had a hard time submitting to her father because of that she was making them. I was like, okay, tuck and roll. Car's still moving, but I gotta tuck and roll at this point because I understand the whole premise of it as far as the woman that built it from scratch, that masculine energy that she has to put in to always be the
Right.
leader and the boss, this, that, and the third. But let me tell you something. As a woman that built my businesses from scratch, guess what? I had no problem when my husband met me and submitting to
Praise
him.
God.
I had no problem. You know why? Because I always felt like as a man, once he's competent, once he's having his own thing going on, and like you said, your daddy wasn't broke. It's just that she was making a little bit more. So your daddy came with something of his
Actually,
own.
he came
She
with
just had a little
no, no,
bit
no.
more.
He came with absolutely nothing. But that's besides the point.
Oh,
Continue.
absolutely. Okay,
No,
all right. But
he
all
was
right.
a
Well,
bum. But I love my father. He was a great man. But that man died with $92,000 in child support debt. Let's be clear. But go
I'll
ahead,
say this.
continue what you were
In,
saying.
in what I would say though is it's within you. It's innate as a woman. If you understand your position, that a competent man can be a leader, even if you don't make as much as you. And I think what a lot of women, what successful women do, they don't know how to pivot inside of being a boss in the boardroom and being a wife in the house, being the wife
Hold on,
and
hold on,
being the
hold on, hold on.
boss.
Say that again, Leah. Can you break that down a little bit? I think maybe.
Successful women.
Yeah, yeah, we need that. Yep, need to hear that.
Give me 1 second. It's on Friday. They don't know how to pivot, or they find it hard to pivot. Because I don't want to, be so like specific. A lot of successful women don't know how to pivot and know how to be that wife, even if she's performing, outperforming her husband financially or whatever it is. It has to innately be in you to be a wife. It has to be in you to be submissive. It has to be in you to understand that a man is more than a bank account. It has to be in you. So you could understand, like, we can merge these two things and we could be great. But if you think leadership is only is first, bottom line is who making the more money, you're gonna always be in a chokehold when it comes to giving up that leadership position. So to answer the question, do successful women intimidate men? I think successful women can intimidate weak men. But solid men that is
Mm.
about their business, solid men that got
Hmm.
stuff, he look at you as just another one. Because
Come on, Leah.
men don't measure the women that they choose by that. A lot of women get tripped up. You can be successful and all that. But if you are not in your divine femininity and in a position of knowing that a man should be the leader, you get passed over. You know how many rich black women I know, especially in Atlanta, that don't have a man? A lot of them.
Mm.
But I listen more.
Yo, come
She
on,
ate
Leah just
that.
dropped the
She
flames.
ate
What we
that.
doing? Yeah, she did. If you guys are just joining, we're talking about do successful women intimidate men. I agree with Leah. It intimidates a weak man with no purpose. If you haven't found your purpose and you don't got no drive, that's just gonna be like, damn, bro, why you and not me? Nobody wants to be with someone like that. So, Leah, thank you for dropping that. I want to continue this.
Hmm.
You black housewife, and then whoever else. Let's jump in. Isa, thanks for coming on the stage. Raquel, Sexy Pink, AK, thanks for coming back. Jody, Salma's on the stage. HD, right? Real one,
I
Demi,
that's
Jay.
that
Let's continue, bro. What we doing?
I I gotta be it gotta be something I'm up against. Or gotta be afraid of. And it's like it's we assuming that a woman that woman is what he's desiring and he's afraid of pursuing her. And I think that's just a presumption because these women have said that they've been claiming it for so long. Even weak men typically go for what they know they can get. So the intimidation is removed. Like, is it because like it's like for it to be intimidating, I have to pursue it. Like I'm a criminal, right? Let's say if I'm criminal, I don't want to go after anything that's going to be complicated. I want to go after easy targets. That don't mean I'm intimidated. That just mean I don't want to have to do the work. Now, do they want to do the work? Sometimes just know they don't want to do the work. because it don't seem like a good return on investment, right? A lot of these sisters are have hypergamy max they self, and then they say that these men are intimidated. It's like, no, you put yourself in an undesirable position. Even to the weak man, it's like, I'm weak. I don't. That's like saying, am I intimidated by lifting 500 pounds? I'm not weak. 500 pounds ain't realistic for me to lift. Most men don't lift 500 pounds. That's not even something that most men are required to lift. Even men who, you know, bodybuild for a living. Like, and women like, well, I'm 500 pounds. I need a real man. It's like, okay, I hope you find them. I'm not intimidated. I don't want to lift 500 pounds.
I feel that. Now let me say this, and I'm gonna move it around because I don't want to take over. Um, what y'all said was correct. I don't think that men are intimidated by successful women, or should I say, weak men might be intimidated by successful women. But I don't even want to focus on that. The reason I focused on the woman is because what a woman might see as intimidation because of her money is actually intimidation because of her personality, or should I say a better word, um, a turnoff. I think men get the ick. Women, we always talk about the ick. Oh, he batted his eyelash wrong, and then he blinked 3 times, and then he sat down twice. I got the ick. Men get the ick too. And I think sometimes a woman who has gotten her bread
I
by
will.
having to operate in that masculinity has become so used to leading with her money in her personality. She's so used to leading with her stuff because that's how she's been conditioned or become successful in her life. Now goes and approaches her dating life like that sometimes. And I think that, like Leah said, that is a terrible idea. And that is a complete uh that is a guaranteed way to unhappiness. Like I'm gonna give you an example. Sherry
CPT.
Shepherd. Sherry Shepherd. She's successful in her own right, right? She had got that man. They had got that surrogate. That man left her. She out here paying spousal support. Mary J. Blige. She had that man. You know, he was helping her with her stuff. Woo woo. Ended up having to pay him spousal support. Wendy Williams had that man. Started with her. Woo woo woo. Ended up having to pay him. You know, whatever fuck. So it's like there's these successful women who were in, as far as we knew, happy relationships at one point in time. Did they intimidate their men to the point where they didn't want to be with them because they were successful? No. But somewhere along the lines, those relationships fell apart. Whether it was her fault or his fault, we don't know. But they did. I think there's something there.
I've had to have conversation with my mom because my mom has been an NYPD police officer slash detective now for like, she's been a detective for 6 years. But the way my mother moves, she has a dominating personality. Gorgeous woman though, gorgeous woman, but slim, petite, the whole nine. But she have a dominating personality, and it's because of where she are, how hard she had to work to get there, the whole nine. She does not know how to turn it off. Even if I call my mom on the phone, she always got to use her detective shit. Like, I just call you to say hey. I'm gonna need you to chill. Like, I was just going to say hey, see how you doing. But she's always in that mode, and I've had to speak to her a couple times about, like, lady, her husband, he's in the union. He's a welder, a master welder for the state of New York. He gets all these contracts and whatnot. But he don't talk very much. He's very quiet. My mom, you're gonna feel her presence when she walk in the room. And I've had to talk to her about that. Like, lady, I don't know if she's changing or she's using any of the things I'm telling her, but I see it, and I'm like, if that man says he don't want to be married to you anymore, I would understand. Now I wouldn't support it because they've been together forever, but I would understand because I see her dominance. I see how she's like, oh, like it always has to be her way. The way it's like she never turns it off, and to me, it's so not attractive.
It's I mean, it turns me off from friendship. I'm not even gonna hold you. When I meet people like that, and I'm a lot of different personality types. I don't care. I'm not super binary. If a woman acts masculine or a man acts feminine, that doesn't really bother me. But when a person's lifestyle is contradicting like their essence, that is a big turn off for me because that's going to cause contention later on. Because now when I tell you something like, oh yeah, I gotta go, my husband's calling, like I literally had women get mad at me being like, yeah, I gotta go, my husband's calling. Like, what you mean, is you on a he controlling you or some shit? No, bitch. Somebody say to me the other day, like, oh, oh, that's your phone. What he looking at your phone for? Why you showing him your phone? I'm like, no, this his fucking phone. He paid the motherfucking bill, bitch. Are you dumb? Are you
Talk your
dumb?
shit, housewife.
Are you
Talk
dumb?
that wife shit.
Are you dumb?
Yeah, they dumb.
This is his fucking phone.
Yeah, they dumb.
Now, this is the thing. I think a lot of times the submission gets a bad rep. Imagine making a lion submit. That shit is hard. Imagine making a tiger submit. That shit is hard. So you don't make shit submit that is nobody says I made a rabbit submit to me. Nobody ever says no shit like that. I made a kitten submit. That's a weak ass animal. Something that you make submit is like a dog or a wolf or some crazy shit like that. If a woman is choosing to submit, it's out of respect for the leadership and whatever else is going on within you. It has nothing to do with her being weak or powerless or dumb or uneducated.
Yeah, I still believe that when it comes to successful women, I just never like verbalize it the way you said it, housewife. But as you were speaking, I was painting that picture as far as that woman that built it from scratch, because in order for her to build it from scratch, she had to operate within that masculinity. She had to say no and be firm on no quite a few times. She had to have deadlines and hold people accountable for missing or deadlines. Like she had to operate with a level of shrewdness and aggression that, you know, capitalism demand, right? And she had to disappoint a few people because she needed to be successful. So I like how you put that. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, that's why, Stack. I don't. I strongly encourage men not to deal with women who are romantically disagreeable, because all of those things are the facts. Like, you seeing a woman who had to make it out of something hard, that shapes her characteristic. It shapes her psychology. Stack. When we watch movies, it's very impressive to see it, even in real life. But I use movies because we can all reference it. But even in life, when we see a man with a lot of scars that went through hard shit, you see him at the top where he survived and he made it through and he's still alive and he okay and he built something. He got scars. He shit been broken. You like, that's a fucking champion. Look, he made it. He made it through this hard ass gauntlet that the life that made for him. We don't measure women the same way. We don't look at a woman with a whole bunch of scars and hardship and abuse that she done had to overcome and be like, she's a champion. I want that one. And that's not to shame sisters that they had to come out of difficulty. And it's not to say that that's bad. It's saying that we don't celebrate it because we don't benefit from it. We respect and we feel bad and we wish we could have protected them so they didn't have to go through it, but we not looking for the woman with the scars and all the broken hearts and broken bone and bad experiences. We looking for the cleanest, purest thing as possible, right? For the least amount of scarification. So when a woman have to do that type of thing, or my man's in the chat said something sexy about a dominant police officer, I, I Stack, I don't know, man. I've never been attracted to a woman that was dominant in any way. Like I don't look at dominatrixes like, oh, she got, and I know I'll be telling the sisters like they need to start charging some of these niggas in these clubhouse rooms since season one, because some of these boys be in here getting off at seeing these
Yeah,
women turn
that's
up.
serious.
And I shrivel up when women start raising their voice and shit. I'm like, oh my God. And that don't have shit to do with intimidation. You're not my competitor. I don't rival women nowhere in the world. We're not in competition. Matter of fact, I'll say this, Stack, not even with money. And we might be doing the same thing. Here's the thing, Stack. Women don't pursue money for the same reason men do. We pursue money to stabilize life for other people, and we benefit from that. Women don't pursue money to take care of other people. Damn sure not a man. Men typically get in their careers because they want to enhance the quality of life for people in the world to some degree. Whether they got really big aspirations of making the world a better place, or they just want to help niggas do something that's important, right? Women not out here trying to fucking save the world and shit. Women out here, I need to get this money so I can bring it home to my husband and kids. They're not buying houses so they can start a family. So even in that case, Me and a woman, even in business, and we not in competition because she ain't doing it for the same reason. Her bragging rights not the same. My bragging rights is look how many people I can take care of. Look how many people I've employed. Look how what the freedom I give my family. Look at the freedom I give my family's family. Stack, they're not competing with me, bro. She don't want to take care of my mama, family, and her. That we not competing the same. So how can I be intimidated with somebody that's not fighting the same fight as me or even able to fight me?
Listen, we still in the gender war floor. Ping it up, share it up. I got a new question. It's gonna go right along with what Fashawn was saying. I want to hear from Leah Lalit, the real one, right? Bag, cute black, Jody. Thank you for being here, bro. Sexy Pink, Raquel, right? Let's continue this. AK, thank you for being here. Demi, Nacho, PhD. Let's continue this. Do women create the very men they complain about? It's my next question up here. Let's share the room out, ping the room out. If you guys have not got your free Bitcoin debit card, make sure you go click the link at the top and do so. Team Double Fold, pretty fire, right? Every time you spin, you earn Bitcoin. Fire. Let's go. Demi, Nacho, anybody else that wants to come in, please chime into this shit ASAP so that way we can continue the energy inside of Gender Wars. We've been on the war floor for a while. I know there's a couple people that need some bulletproof vests. They probably need some ammo. For Sean, please go get the ammo. Leah, I think we need some AK-47s. Nacho, please. These people need some water now. They've been on the war floor all day, warring it out with me. This will be on the podcast. I appreciate y'all. This is my last question of the day before I shut down and go. I gotta go eat. I want to go eat some food. I've been trading all day, but I want to go eat. But my last question for y'all is: do women create the very men they complain about? You know, so some women I see condoning the fuckery, condoning certain shit of men that are toxic, and then wondering why this shit backfires in their face. Everything's all good till it's you. Everything's all good till the shit backfires. So let's continue this conversation, please. The war floor is open. Let's go. What are we doing?
Oh,
Yeah,
y'all
they
doing?
abs- Oh, go ahead, brother. You got it.
I I think just complaining is just that's just part of being a woman. So they're gonna complain either way. Even when they're happy, they're gonna complain a little bit. Uh but I don't know. I can't say that they create the men. I think that the system is designed that way where you know they want so many broken families like this. It's profitable. It's capitalism. They want it to be a certain way. They don't want everybody to have a happy family. It's good for you know for building the generational wealth of people who set it up for people to fight and argue and all that. But no matter how women have it, they gonna complain. They gonna complain with a husband in the house. They gonna complain about having a husband. If no husband, they gonna complain about being single. If they can't get jobs, they gonna complain about not being able to get jobs. They got a job and complain about the job. It's just part of being a woman. They gonna complain. It's just I don't think we should even even think too hard about what women complain about because they complain either way. And we should just look. They go, okay, she complaining, but is everything okay? And if we think everything okay, we just need to ignore the complaints. That's what I do.
Ignoring the complaints is crazy, bro. Demi, ignoring the complaints is
Well,
nuts to me. What?
for me,
What is going on? Please get this mic.
sorry. I mean, I wouldn't say that women create men that a lot of women complain about, but there are some that do entice certain behaviors in men that, you know, women do complain about. So again, it kind of goes both ways in this case because it comes down to choosing your partner wisely, right? So if you are with a woman where, she's never in a good mood or this is that and a whole lot of yapping, yeah, like she's gonna be complaining, and I guess that will just be a whole cycle, right? Where the man is just fed up, this is that, and he ends up, doing certain things that women look at and be like, oh, they start complaining about it and stuff. So I don't know. It's tricky, in my opinion, about all of this.
Demi, I interpreted the question a little different, but maybe you interpreted it correctly. Maybe I was wrong.
Now,
Uh,
for Sean, I want to hear what did you think about it too, bro? Like, how did you take it, bro? Talk to me.
I interpreted the question as like women who raise sons. But I think to well, how Demi interpreted is true as well too though. But like women most definitely produce the men that they like the mothers produce turn their boys into the men that they hate today. Like women raise their sons to be men that they would never date, right? And
Oh shit, for Sean, and that's the point. Hold on, for Sean. That's where I was going. That was my point, bro. You took it. Let's go.
yeah, like a lot of these men today that women are currently complaining about, they mamas made them. And the women that's dating them today complain about them, but they also raise their sons with a philosophy that's making them the men that they don't want. So it's like a continuous cycle. And by doing so, women are still, to Demi's interpretation, women are still producing that man because women are saying that they want men to simp out, but they don't want, but they only want the men that they want to simp out. But the men that they want are not simps. That's why they want them to simp out. So the simps are continuing the simp saying, I'm doing what you asking me for. And she's saying, I don't want to fuck you, though. But he's like, I'm doing what you ask. And she don't know how to articulate, like, no, I want the man that I want to fuck to do what you doing. And that's two different things. And she raising her son to be like, no, do what a girl likes and make women happy. And then her son grows up to try to make women happy, but he ain't got no masculine frame. And now women won't fuck him. And now she's stressed out because she thinks she did a good job, but she all she did was put another simp in the world, and that's horrific.
Ooh, listen, let's continue this, Zoe. Thanks for coming up. Raquel, thanks for being here, real one. Jay, I know you're probably busy, but do women create the very men they complain about? I agree with Fashawn. I agree with what Demi's talking about. They entice the behavior. They condone some of this weak ass behavior. Like, damn. And then you wonder why this shit backfires. So that's what kind of where I want the conversation to go. Do women create the very men they complain about, or is it the society, or is it the rap music we were talking about earlier? There's a lot of shit I mix it up with, but let's continue this conversation. Sexy Pink, over to you, and then let's pass the mic up. Let's go.
So, absolutely, yes, they do create women do create the very men they complain about. And yeah, it has a lot to do with what you condone, but also the way that you carry yourself, right? You are what you attract. So, what I sit here and I am so grateful for when it comes down to my parents and how I was raised is you don't have to worry about getting other positions if you stay in your own. You can't have one foot on one end and another foot on the other end. Either you can't sit here and say I'm a woman that holds myself to a certain standard but then compromise because he's cute, or compromise because he said the right thing. Like, either you have morals and standards or you don't. And I get it, we have our weaknesses and things like that, but when we open ourselves up to weakness, we also open the door to opportunity. And opportunity can be negative or it can be positive. So it's just all about the places, the spaces, and the people that you center yourself around. Like, I can't sit here and antagonize a dog and then get mad that he bit. That was what his true intentions were. That's what his purpose is for. And if we move with intention and we move within our purpose, we'll put ourselves around other people who do so. Like, I cut people off real quick. Real quick, because people are grown. People know what they do. I can mess with you at 11:11 and you're done by 11:12 because I hold myself to a certain standard. It's called boundaries too as well. We have to show people our boundaries and show them that we stand on that boundary. Like, if I sit here and say I don't take this, I'm cutting you off because I don't take this. It's not that I'm going to hold a grudge against you or anything. I forgave you the moment that you did the action because you don't know no better because you weren't taught no better. But I'm going to teach you, and hopefully you take this into the next situation and you don't do that again. And I'll land my plane there.
You live and you learn. Damn, you live. That's what I got from your shit, Sexy Pink. Like, yeah, you live and you learn, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, that's just what it is. You live and you learn. And if you don't, you're done. Who's coming in after her? What's going on? So, Jay, Real, Raquel, Sexy Black Housewife, whoever want to come in, right? Let's continue this. Grab the mic. We've been in here for a couple hours, so let me hear who else wants to snatch the mic. Let's go.
These boy mothers, thank you for having me. These boy mothers, don't protect his manhood, his future. Yeah, I gotta, because if you cared about his future, why did he turn into what he turned into? And now you're complaining. So something in his childhood you didn't make sure of. I'm not a boy mom. I have a girl, thank God. So, anything
Why'd you say thank God, Zoe? What's so bad about having a boy?
shit can go left. He could be on that, what's that? There's an app called T Drop or something like that. I don't know. I don't want my son ending up on the app, but I have a girl, so it's just I'm chill. I've been chilling since I had my child. So if I had a boy, I would have to be more militant. At least with a girl, I get to relax, right, and do girly shit, and just talk about, oh, one day you'll be a young lady. So these boy moms, they weren't militant enough, right? That's what I see.
Hmm. You guys
I
agree
mean,
with Zoe? What's up,
I
Zoe?
mean, a woman
Good.
can't be no matter how militant. I think women, boy moms do be militant, and that militance has nothing to do with being able to raise a boy into a man. Like I think, and a matter of fact, they be too militant. That's why these boys be emasculated. They be feminizing these little boys, and that's why they be bending the knee to every woman they think is pretty. That's why on Clubhouse, Stack, a man can be in the middle of his submission, and a woman will cut him off to address what he's in the middle of saying. He'll apologize and give her the floor because his identity is in full submission to a woman's presence or desire. That came from his mama, his auntie, his grandmama, the women in his life. His masculine frame is founded on the premises of him being an obedient, a good boy.
But I thought
Yo,
you
good.
didn't. I thought women didn't want to be too like. I can't. I don't want my son witnessing too much of me being. I don't know if he knows how to. You got to be wary if like you're the only parental. Like if I'm too womanly, I don't want him to pick up on my habits. I don't.
Yeah, but you don't. I mean, so women be thinking they being soft and they don't. Women be in public and on social media, on Clubhouse, arguing, raising their voice, calling men outside their name, all of that masculine, rough, diabolical shit. And they doing that in front of their sons and their daughters. That's why women are raising their sons to be the men that they don't want, and they raising their daughters to be the women that no man will want.
Okay,
I'm gonna
so
say this. Oh,
I just want to
I'm
end
gonna
it
say
here.
this.
I just want to end it. So if anything happens and we start seeing these news reports where the sons turn on their mother, we're saying it's her fault if the son turn on
That's a
her.
very extreme line of thinking. What I was gonna say was, I feel like when young men are raised to be female centered, it is a disservice to them. And when young women are raised to be male centered, it is a great disservice to them. And what I mean by female and male centered is kind of a little bit piggybacking off what Shashawn was talking about. The man sitting up here and yielding to the woman. not out of respect and not out of trying to seek peace, but out of deference, out of feeling like he don't have no agency because that's how his mama raised him. And I do agree. I think that I personally think that the reason why women often create the very men they complain about is because you can't create something that you don't know what the fuck it is. You never dated a man who's like that. Your mama never dated a man who's like that, and your grandma never dated a man who was like that. You have a lineage of ain't shit niggas. And so now you raising a son by yourself. All you know is how to raise an ain't shit nigga. And that's what you end up creating. And I think sometimes there are women who are very masculine or who operate in their masculinity when it comes to their sons, and they're overbearing and they're doing all this, you gotta, and don't you dare, and blah blah blah, because that's toxic masculinity. That's their definition of what it means to raise a man. When in fact, an actual man has a lot of nuance to how he raises his son. There is so much customization to how a son is raised that we as women could not really understand because we're not men. And that's okay. But when young men are raised to be female centered, yes, queen. Yes. Yes, queen. It's like they do a disservice to their sons, because now you've raised an insecure person, just fundamentally insecure person. And you've also raised someone who's highly likely, male or female, to end up in an abusive relationship, because no matter what, the opposite gender is always right. No matter what they do or what they say or how they treat you, they're always right.
Yeah, housewife. A lot of our sisters, because they had sons, and the son was primarily with them, and they sons grew up to be decent to their lens. There's two things that can be happening, right? And it's that if a woman don't have a real clear sense of what a man's supposed to be, if her son, through her lens and what she's exposed to about him, is not violent, he's not in jail, he's done the things that she's requested him to do, she'll think that he's a good man because she don't understand the foundation of what a good man is in the first place. um on the flip side, it also, I mean, not the flip side, the other thing that can be happening is he became a great man while being growing up in her house, and she's not taking into account the men that were placed in his life, or the men that she placed in his life intentionally to take care of the masculine part, right? And she'll be like, well, I raised him and look how good of a man he is. My mother did a good job of parenting. She did not raise me to be a man. There are a handful of men in my life, through my adolescence, through my young adulthood, that are specifically responsible for my understanding of manhood and me going through that process. Mothers are phenomenal nurturers and they can set the foundation, but my mom don't have nothing to do about with me with the direct effect of man that I am. And I love my mother. She's fantastic. I'm happy I
Right.
chose her, right? But that has nothing. She didn't, and she'll tell you, I ain't raised him to be a man. I raised a good human being. But my mama tell you, she put me around men. She's like, I don't know how to do this. So she put me around men that was on manhood. She put me in martial arts, in the sports. I did everything. I went to Malcolm X Academy, housewife. I went to a
No,
black
that's right.
Afrocentric private school. I went to a school where most of my teachers, I'm talking about 90% of the teachers in that school at the time, were all black men. You see what I'm saying? It's very different. A lot of brothers don't have that experience. Most young men growing up today, they school teachers is usually a woman, and at best she a black woman, but she usually white or Latina, right? Then they go home and it's their mom and their aunties, their sisters, society. We can't even want better character out of women because we got to listen to Cardi B and every other woman, and go Glorilla talk about their pussies, how good they suck dick, and you know we got to accept a woman wearing stripper outfits. They're building the women.
Jesus.
That goes back to the previous sister saying it's about your character. Absolutely, you building the man you don't want. The men y'all say y'all don't want, you also want the men you want to want you for looking like a hoe. That's crazy. Stack, do you remember 7 years ago, brother? 7 years ago, the clothes that women are wearing today was specifically designed for strippers and prostitutes. Literally, them high platform heels, that was stripper shit. The fishnets, the neon colored, panties and stripper prostitute shit. Nah, this is regular weekend attire. You can't dress like a clown and then tell somebody to take you seriously. I
This is
couldn't.
one of those things. I 100%. I'm sorry to cut you off, for sure. I 100% hear where you're coming from, and and I want to make it really crystal clear, because I know that there's this rhetoric that everything is the woman's fault, blase, blase, blah. It's not that everything is a woman's fault, but some stuff is a woman's fault. Can we admit that? Some things are a woman's fault. So in the situation with my mom, you know, my dad left her. She was a chaste woman of God, married 8 years, a housewife. He didn't let her go to school. He didn't let her. When I say let, I mean that literally. He didn't let her go to school. He didn't let her work, and she obliged. And he left her with 3 kids. You know. Now my mom proceeded to do what she knew how to do, what she knew best, and she went to, dated only women. I have not ever seen her date a man since my father. She didn't date one before him, and she hasn't dated one since. And she was extremely hard on my brothers. She was hard on me too. This is very masculine lesbian woman. I remember there's a particular memory that I have of my mom whooping my brother's ass when he was cutting school, because he was failing and he wasn't going to graduate. And to this day, she believes that her doing that put him on the straight and narrow. But when I asked my brother, mind you, this is my eldest brother, we're all 2 years apart. I said, I relayed this information to him because she always talks about this as if it's like a glorious, she talks about it like it's a damn trophy. Like, yeah, I sure told him. When I asked my brother, he looked at me crazy. He's like, what? He said, that's not why I started going to school. He said, actually, that did absolutely nothing for me except not want to be around her. He said, in fact, the reason I started going to school and doing my work is because I noticed that all my friends were going to graduate without me. All his guy friends were going to graduate without him. And he found that embarrassing. He decided that he was going to change. So, what one person perceives as, yeah, I scared him straight, a woman who's doing her absolute best, working 60 hours a week. My mom worked her freaking ass off, kept food on our plate, clothes on our backs. And I told you my dad had $92,000 in child support debt. So she wasn't getting no fucking child support. Now, did all of that, did everything quote unquote right. But still and yet, her masculine son was like, look, she didn't scare me straight. I just simply changed my mind. And that's really how it is. Sometimes we think as women, yeah, I sure showed him. I put my foot down. And the man's like, actually, I just decided, I wanted to change. And that's something that I think that is something we don't understand about men sometimes because we don't have good men around us. And that's not really our fault, but it is our responsibility to get good men around us. I have another single mom who's a complete opposite of my mom. Very feminine, beautiful, godly woman. She's about to get married soon, in fact. And she told me that she goes out of her way to make sure her son has masculinity around him. She's living in New York, one of the cities that, in my opinion, produces the most masculine women. Tell me how I know, because I'm from there. Um, and she's like, yeah, girl, I'll be telling that young man, hey, find something to do. I be keeping him occupied, keep him busy. I get him around men. She's like, I can't teach him how to be a man. She's like, I'm not having him coming and sitting down with the girls and getting my nails done, and he coming with me to the salon and shit. She's like, I'm not doing that shit. He gotta go be around the men. He gotta go be around the men and see some men. And now she's with another man, about to marry a man who's a masculine man. It's like she understood inherently because she had a concept of what a good man is supposed to be. And she's like, if I know what a good man is supposed to be, and that's what I'm trying to produce, I know that I can raise a good human, like your mother said, Fashawn. I can raise a good human, a respectable person, a good contributing member of society. But a man, she could not raise. And that's coming from the horse's mouth. Now we can't both be subs. That is, I put it like this, sex. Somebody got to be the captain. There's no such thing as two captains. I'm the XO. He's the captain because I'm military, and he's a civilian captain. I'm like, there's no such thing as two captains. That doesn't even make any sense.
Well, cute, you already know me. You know, I'm a sub, so it's very dangerous for me. And that's why I have to be very
Imagine a
cautious
man
on
comes to you
how
and
I
is like,
date,
"Hey,
who I
sexy, why don't
date.
you tie me up for once?" And you're like, "Whoa, what the
And it's
fuck?"
like we
He
both
hands you
looking
the
for each
paddle.
other.
He hands you
Yeah,
the
you know,
paddle. Like, get
we
me.
can't both. We can't
Step on
both
me.
be
You're like,
submissive. We can't both. No, we can't both be it. We can't both identify as some ladies here. We can't both be bad bitches here. Like we both like listen,
not us both
you
being bad
know.
bitches.
But that's the energy it gives when you have, you know, injured or damaged or whatever term, because I don't want to trigger anyone, masculine energy. Like, we can't both be on our feminine gang. We just can't do it. Like, I'm
Have you
soft.
ever heard the phrase, Bria, of a woman ever say? Has you ever heard a woman say this phrase? I'm gonna say, I would date women in a heartbeat if it wasn't for the fact that I don't like pussy. And I think it goes deeper than that. At the end of the day, there can't be two queens. There can't be two princesses. They're just. I had a white woman tell me once I had bought my first house. Right, I was still single at the time, and her husband was helping me, do stuff because he was. They had a shiplap business, so they were creating a little breakfast nook for me in the house. And she was like, Rebecca, this white woman was. I never met a white woman like this in my entire life, and I've never met another one like this since. She was a fucking boss, but she was also very feminine. It was strange. And she was like, Rebecca, now that you own a house, you can't date certain type of men. I was like, oh. And she's like, and not for nothing, but it makes sense why you don't have no roommates, why you don't want to have roommates. I said, what do you mean? She's like, well, there can't be two queens. She said, you see my two daughters over there? She had two daughters. Them girls was, she had them girls on a leash. She had them girls acting right in that house. Like they try to get up, guys, she's like, sit your behind down. I was like, oh shit. I ain't never met no white woman like that. She put the fear of God in me. I was like, I straightened my back. Like, fuck? And she was like, she said, when they get older and they're 18, they're gonna be like me. And they gotta get the fuck out. I said, oh shit. She said, they gotta get out of my house. There cannot be two queens. There cannot be three queens in a house because they're gonna start talking back and rolling their eyes and sucking their teeth. You go find your king. You need to get the fuck out of here. Go find your king. Me and your daddy are
That's
gonna be
kind of
together.
crazy to hear a woman
It
say that
is.
about
It
her
was. It was. It
daughters.
was nuts. It was freaking nuts. I was like, "Yo, I have never met a white woman like this. This is freaking interesting."
Well, you do realize women tend to leave the house earlier than men.
Do they? I've never known this. Do tell.
And that's because, especially within our communities, women are pushed out of the home quickly. Because you also got to understand something. We become moms early.
I see.
Not, and even without that, you also have to understand something. There's a lot of generational curses. Do you remember the other day we were in a room and I was talking about how some mothers are in competition with their daughters?
Yes.
So, I mean, and that's a lot to unpack right there in itself. But just standing alone, a lot of women are pushed out early. You see them leave early. Like I left home at 13. So that's way earlier than a lot of the friends that I was, but most of them, they left immediately the moment that they graduated high school.
Mm,
Whereas
that's
my
interesting.
Whereas my brother, well, majority of them, they're in the military, so they left once they enlisted. But the ones who didn't, they didn't leave the home until like 25, 28. And so they were starting to build their families and, starting to get married and things of that such nature. They're kept home longer. So they have more access because it's looked at for us as women. You need to go out there. You need to start making your life. You need to go out there and start building your legacy. You need to go out there. You need to go to school, or you need to start building your business. You need to do something. You need to do
That is
something.
so. It's crazy that you say that because, and I don't know if anybody else. I would love to hear if anybody else has this experience, one way or the other. I had the exact opposite experience. See, my mom stayed in my grandparents' house till she was 25, till she got married, and my experience was the same. They pushed my brothers out immediately, immediately. But I was able to stay. I left early, but not because they pushed me out, but because I couldn't stand being there anymore. But I found the opposite to be true. I found that men get pushed out really, really early in American culture, and then the women can kind of just stick around.
Yeah,
But I'm
kicking
also
your
speaking
kids
about,
out your house is crazy.
hmm?
I said kicking your kids out your house is crazy. That's
Yes,
something my daughter. That's something my
yes.
daughter taught me actually. My daughter made me revisit my plan for her when she was like 10. And this, y'all done heard me talk about like kicking your kids out is crazy, like especially daughters. Like women should never live alone, and that didn't become a thing until like Western modern civilization. And I mean Western. I mean like new. Like that's less than 70 years old. Like women living alone. This is some shit y'all fought for in feminism, and it's fucking crazy. It actually makes no women living alone has no actual utility, not one singular. Even the women that want to talk about they like they peace or being able to be alone, that's not utility. That's just that goes completely against a woman's desire to be in a family, and it's almost impossible to come back from for most women. Um, my daughter will never live alone. She'll always live with me until she's married, and God forbid her husband, it dies and she becomes a widow or they get divorced. God forbid, then she'll just come back home. Like my daughter will never, my sons won't have to be pushed out the home. They will eventually have to get out there, but they don't got to leave at 18. If I think they ready,
Hmm.
if I think they ready at 18 and they want to try it, we might have that discussion. But my son's gonna live on campus. My daughter won't ever live on campus. I'm literally in the process of buying a fourplex by the campus that she's gonna go to. We'll live in that, and I'll live there with her, and we'll rent the other spaces out, and then we'll go back home on the weekends, and then she'll find her husband, and then she'll move in with him. But my
Yep.
daughter will never live alone. That's crazy.
It is crazy. And to this day, it's so insane how I know I'd be traumatized and stuff. To this day, if we were to go to my husband's family right now and say, hey, we don't want to live anymore alone anymore. We want to live with you guys. Do you know that they would clear out the upstairs bedroom that they built for him, with an ensuite bathroom? They would reroute their whole entire life to let us in there. But if I were to go to my family and ask for the same shit, they would be like, okay, how much you gonna be paying a month? Because that literally my brother got his first job at like 16 working at Wendy's, and he was immediately paying bills. And then when I got my job, I was immediately paying bills because of that scarcity shit. And it's crazy because my mom wasn't raised like that. She was not paying bills growing up. That was not even a thing for her. She was able to stay in that house till she was 25, and my daddy married her. And that's literally biblical too. And people don't care about the Bible at all. But once upon a time, if you look at the scripture that says, in my father's house there are many mansions. I go to prepare a place for you. It's literally historical in Judaism that when a man finds a wife, he would go to his father's house, and him and his friends would go and build an extension onto the house. And it wasn't until that extension was completed that those two could get married. So the woman would never be alone. And then another thing is, if the father died, right? If the husband died, that woman was either supposed to, one, go back to her family to be taken care of, or two, be taken care of by her sons, because a widow could not work because there was no women's rights back then. So it's just it's unfortunate the way things have ended up with the way that we see children, because in Western society there's no concept of childhood anymore. Childhood is slowly fizzling away.
Yeah, I could tell you for a fact I didn't have a childhood. For a fact. I am a product of two immigrants. I did not have a freaking childhood. I had to sit here and make sure that the mortgage was understood. I had to make sure that the taxes were understood. I had to make sure that my dad understood what the hell was going on, because I told you my dad came to the United States in the 90s. And my mom, she never became a citizen. She just worked here. So it was kind of difficult. I had to keep up with that, and then I have siblings, and they were kind of all over the freaking place. There was a lot of us, so it was always just something new going on, something always uh that I had to end up handling. So it got to a point, man, when my grandmother passed away when I was 13. She passed away in June of 2009. I'm gonna tell you, by July, I was in my own situation. I left my family because I needed to be me. And by the grace of God, I was surrounded around good people who had good intentions for me, who made sure that I was protected, and that I had the things that I needed, because it took a lot for me to sit here and to break away from my family, but I knew if I didn't, I wouldn't have a life, not one that I have today. And it built the character that I do have today, and it has enabled me to be able to do what I do for the people that I'm able to help. I know I can't help everyone, but I can help as many people as I can in the areas that I can touch. That's what I can take from it. I don't resent my parents for it. We actually, and this is what I appreciate about my parents, that we did come back to the drawing board at some point, and we did really really work on our relationship, and I was able to open up and tell them, like, you guys were parents all of like 2 seconds, because my mom, she was focused on her career, and my dad, he was focused on his career and building his legacy, and making sure that we had siblings, that so that we wouldn't be alone when they did pass. But what I can sit here and say is, it just really depends. Everything is always based on perception. It's based on situation, and it's based on the audience, right? Because I can sit here and I can say, one ideal from an American standpoint, but then I can say another ideal from me and my family, not coming from America, coming to America and establishing a life for ourselves, and what that looks like. So I guess it really just really depends again on who you're talking to.
Well, it's looking like a wrap. You guys went all the way in. I appreciate y'all for being in Gender Wars, having this conversation with me. We had like 5 conversations in one, right? I appreciate y'all. We'll be right back in maybe tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Depends on my schedule, but I'll probably be back in tomorrow, so that way we can have some more conversations. Do y'all tore it up. Click the link at the top if you haven't got your free Bitcoin debit card. Click the link at the top if you have not joined Gender Wars, and also join Media Mentors. So when I have business conversations, you'll be right there as well. For Sean, Demi, PhD, Jay, Real One, Nacho, Q Black Housewives, Sexy Pink, and I don't know how to say your name because I'm not French. So you already know what it is. We'll be back in real soon, and we're gonna be doing some major, major, major work. Anybody that wants to come on my podcast show, tap in with me. I need more guests. I got about like 339 episodes. I need more people. Anybody that's trying to grow their social media, tap in with me. And anybody that wants to earn passive income with all these damn digital tools we have now, send me a message. I appreciate you guys. I'll be back in either Media Mentors or Gender Wars. Let's go. Big pack.